At Iowa, Northern Illinois. Let's send it out to Tom Hart and John Congemi.
Welcome to the All-State Game of the Week from Soldier Field in Chicago. Today, the Iowa Hawkeyes take the field, looking for their 12th consecutive season-opening victory, which have all come in dominating fashion. They face a Northern Illinois team which is riding the nation's longest win streak in the FBS at 9 in a row. And welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside John Congemi. Well, change is in the air in Iowa City, and that sounds odd to say, considering Kirk Ferentz is still the head coach there. But for the first time after 13 years, he's changed coordinators on both sides of the ball.
Well, I think change was needed in Iowa City, and I think Kirk Ferentz, what he brings to this staff and to that sideline is stability, and he brings experience to the Hawkeyes. But when you take a look at both sides of the football, Tom, change was needed, and change came in the face of coordinators.
And it comes on the defensive side first, where expect more from new defensive coordinator Phil Parker.
Phil Parker takes over for Norm Parker on the defensive side. Now, Phil has coached this Iowa secondary for 13 seasons, and the change should bring more movement, more pressure packages to this Hawkeye defense. On the offensive side of the football, longtime Texas offensive coordinator Greg Davis replaces Ken O'Keefe, who's moved on to the Miami Dolphins. Now, Davis will continue to focus on what quarterback James Vandenberg does well, but subtle changes like changing the tempo and going no huddle anywhere on the field will give you a new look for Iowa. Now, this Coach Davis on the offensive side, anytime he built an offense at Texas for Vince Young and Colt McCoy, you know the Iowa Hawkeyes are in good hands.
Well, there is change as well for Northern Illinois, but they don't want too much. Jordan Lynch will be behind center instead of Chandler Harnish, but they want to keep with this excellence over the last couple years, which started under Jerry Kill.
Tommy, this team has been on a roll lately, and entering this season, they're on the longest winning streak in the nation at 9 in a row, and those victories included a MAC championship and a bowl victory. Head coach Dave Doran has a simple plan. He provides the direction and leadership and believes in his staff and players. He lets his coaches coach, and he knows if he has the right players, they will follow. So far for NIU, it's been working.
Northern Illinois will kick off. This is technically a home game, 65 miles from campus, but it is all primarily, I should say, black and gold here. Greg Garman will take a knee in the end zone, and the new rule this year, the touchbacks come out to the 25-yard line after the kickoffs were moved up 5 yards. And so James Vandenberg under center for the second straight year as a starter for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And as we mentioned, the new coordinator, Greg Davis. What does this mean for Vandenberg?
Well, I think it's a good thing for James Vandenberg. He's a strong young man. He's an accurate passer. He's one of those gym rats. So he's going to know this offense inside and out. His head coach says Greg Davis, he knows the offense the best, and his quarterback, James Vandenberg, he's right behind him.
Damon Bullock will be the starting running back for the Hawkeyes, who have seen plenty of turnover in the backfield. Vandenberg to throw on first down, and it's complete to Cavante Martin-Manley. And good to see the Iowa receivers picking up the slack after they lost Marvin McNutt. Jamaal Bass with the stop for the Huskies.
The Huskies come out throwing the football early, and you like that because you want to put all the confidence in the world in your senior quarterback who's been accurate over his career.
So second down for the Hawkeyes after Vandenberg came out throwing. He is under center this year, and they will rotate a variety of tight ends as Zach Derby goes in motion. First time on the ground, and the carry is a positive one and an Iowa first down for Damon Bullock. The freshman, the sophomore from Mansfield, Texas, Ken Bishop with the stop.
Tom, now head coach Kirk Ferentz, he can exhale because that's the one thing he was worried about with Damon Bullock. That first carry, quarterback, running back exchange, fumbling the football. They've had all these problems at the running back position. You're glad to see that first handoff was clean.
Well, the biggest problem has been the rotating door for all of these Iowa running backs since Sean Green won the Doak Walker Award in 2008. Second straight carry for Bullock, and that one goes for 4 yards. Names like Adam Robinson, Brandon Wager, Marcus Coker, Mikhail McCall, DeAndre Johnson have all left the program, and guys in the program even hurt. Jordan Canzeri fighting back from a torn ACL, so is Barkley Hill. So Kirk Ferentz has had to deal with these questions all offseason. How can we find some continuity in the backfield?
Yeah, it's enough to give you a couple more gray hairs if you're walking that sideline for Iowa.
Out of the shotgun now on second down. Vandenberg, time, and a dart complete, but short for the first down. Keenan Davis with his first grab of the season. They've gone through 10 running backs since 2008. And from last fall, Marcus Coker, who takes 1,300+ yards with him to Stony Brook. You see two guys injured. Mikhail McCall transferred, and DeAndre Johnson dismissed from the team. He's now at a junior college in Ellsworth, Iowa.
It'll definitely be running back by committee today, but right now Damon Bullock looks like he's on a bit of a roll.
And Mark Weissman, the Air Force transfer, is at fullback in front of Bullock on 3rd and short. Leading the way, Bullock's got the first down past midfield, and he stumbles his way all the way down to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards for the Hawkeye running back.
Well, I know the offensive coordinator, Greg Davis, is happy about the way number 32 has progressed through spring and fall camp. Here he gets the hole in the second level. The NIU defense didn't even see him. He was a blur through the hole. That's one thing he has, is great acceleration, and it only takes him 1 or 2 steps to get going north and south. He's a one-cut runner, so look for him. Once he gets to the secondary, he should be at top speed.
All according to plan for Greg Davis, who scripts the first 10 plays of the game on offense. Bullock again around a big left side, and that hole opens up for a pickup of nearly 10. Deshaun Durant finally brings him down, and they're able to get those big offensive linemen out in front, including center James Ferentz.
Tom, you called it. That offensive line did a great job. Watch the push off the left side. A great hook at the edge, right at the point of attack by C.J. Fedorowicz, the tight end. He's one of those guys that go 6'7", so he looks like an offensive tackle. He's a tight end. He's a mismatched nightmare going down the field, and he can hold his own at the end of the line of scrimmage.
And they want to get the ball to him early. He's on the right side of the formation. Bullock again, great hesitation and good vision, and he powers his way to an Iowa first down. Tyrone Clark with the stop. And now the impact players for the Hawkeyes of Iowa, and we mentioned C.J. Fedorowicz. Expect him to get a look here early.
He's a guy on the end of the line of scrimmage, as well as Keenan Davis. He's steady, but he'll have to pick up the slack from graduated Marvin McNutt last year.
5 carries for 39 yards for Bullock already on this opening drive for the Hawkeyes. Here he is on the left side, and brought down at the line of scrimmage on a nice play up front by Anthony Wells. We expect Northern Illinois to rotate 8+ men along that front 4. They are talented up front on that defensive line.
Redshirt junior did a nice job going down the line of scrimmage. That time his vision was in the backfield, but he had good hand position for his head coach, Dave Doran. So they have to win the battle at the line of scrimmage, because it looks like Iowa wants to go north and south with this running game.
Dave Doran spent a few years at Kansas, so he's familiar with what Greg Davis did at Texas. Vandenberg lets it go. There's the tight end, and short of the first down. Jamaal Bass on the stop to the 6'7" C.J. Fedorowicz. And an injured player for the Huskies is the linebacker who made the stop, Jamaal Bass, and maybe just got the wind knocked out of him because he's back up on his feet.
One of the things you'll see out of offensive coordinator Greg Davis, you'll see some empty, and you'll get a mismatch on the inside and the outside with C.J. Fedorowicz. He's 6'7", 265. Tom, his wingspan is so big, even when a linebacker is going to run down the middle of the field, he's open when he's covered. You can get it close to that wingspan. He'll come down with the football. I know that James Vandenberg has confidence. If he can get it close, his tight end's going to come down with it.
3rd and 2. 2 tight ends for the Hawkeyes. Bullock the back. Here's Bullock, left side. Got through one tackler and got the first down for Iowa.
Nice push off the left side of the line of scrimmage again. Brandon Sheriff, that left tackle, the sophomore out of Denison, Iowa, does a great job. A hat on a hat. You see a white jersey on a black jersey. That's what you have to have in the running game. You have to have a good surge at the point of attack. Your tight ends pushing out, and C.J. Fedorowicz, and good north and south running by Bullock.
It's not by design, but that is an all-Iowa offensive line for the Hawkeyes, including the man in the middle from City High School, James Ferentz, the coach's son. Vandenberg checks at the line. Greg Davis gives him the freedom to do just this. Left side, through one arm tackle, through another, and out of bounds. Deshaun Durant, the 3rd-year sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, chased him out.
And Tom, the one thing we mentioned at the top of the show with new offensive coordinator Greg Davis, he was going to bring a different type of tempo to this offense. You can see, even though that Iowa is relying primarily on the running attack, the tempo's been better at the line of scrimmage. They're in and out of the huddle a little bit quicker. There's more time on the play clock if they have to change the play at the line of scrimmage, which they did on that last play.
And you may not see Iowa huddle much this season, but they have here on the opening drive, which continues. Northern Illinois, by the way, won the toss. They deferred, elected to give Iowa the ball. And the Hawkeyes making them pay for it. On second down, nowhere to go. Great play up front. And the first big play for Northern Illinois, led by Alan Baxter and Sean Evans.
That time, Northern Illinois wins the battle at the line of scrimmage. Jamaal Jefferson, the senior out of Chicago, he comes back home and he gets a great push right there. Big number 99, doing a nice job right in the middle of the screen to get a stalemate at the line of scrimmage and force Iowa into a 3rd and long situation. The first time that they're going to probably rely on James Vandenberg to throw the football down the field.
13th play of the drive as Vandenberg operates from the shotgun. They've already converted 2 third downs on this opening drive today. Vandenberg to throw, too high, incomplete, and Northern Illinois, with great coverage from Rashawn Melvin on Keenan Davis, will force Iowa into a kicking situation.
Jay Neiman, the defensive coordinator for Northern Illinois, he dialed up the man coverage and he brought the heat on the senior quarterback, James Vandenberg. It was picked up, but good coverage on the outside. That's the key. When you're going to bring the heat, you need to cover well, and Melvin on the corner did his job.
Mike Meyer from Dubuque, Iowa, is on to attempt a 34-yard kick. He hit 70% of his field goals last season. High snap. Kick is true. And Meyer gives Iowa the lead on its opening drive, but a big 3rd down stop by the Huskies of Northern Illinois. Kirk Ferentz's 14th season starts with a 3-0 Hawkeye lead.
I'm in the honors program here at NIU. The Honors House is a place where honors students can live together. I lived in the Honors House as a freshman, so I got to meet people right off the bat. I was with students who were in the same kinds of classes as me. So living in the Honors House just meant I had that group to start off with. Living with other honors students made all the difference in my experience, so why go anywhere else?
Northern Illinois University. Learning today.
Leading tomorrow.
Road trip, buddy. Let's put some music on.
Welcome to Learning Spanish in the Car.
You gotta be kidding me. This is good.
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Gracias.
Gracias.
13 horas en el carro sin parar y no traes música. Mira, entra y cómprame unas papitas.
Get up to 795 miles per tank in the 2013 Passat TDI Clean Diesel. That's the power of German engineering. See your local dealer for special lease and finance rates during the Autobahn for All event.
We asked over 3,000 doctors to review 5-Hour Energy, and what they said is amazing. Over 73% who reviewed 5-Hour Energy said they would recommend a low-calorie energy supplement to their healthy patients who use energy supplements. 73%. 5-Hour Energy has 4 calories and is used over 9 million times a week. Is 5-Hour Energy right for you? Ask your doctor. We already asked 3,000.
A nasty D-line and bruising backfield has Les Miles' Bayou Bengals near the top of the polls as the defending SEC champs open the season against North Texas. North Texas LSU, tonight at 7 on ESPNU.
ESPNU College Football All-State Game of the Week, brought to you by Allstate. Allstate is a proud sponsor of the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands? And Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Welcome back to Soldier Field in Chicago. Iowa leads Northern Illinois 3-0. Tom Hart with John Kangemi, and a fantastic start for the Iowa offense.
Boy, just a nice job of executing your running game and actually coming in and playing big up front. That's what Iowa needs to do. Now, they had a little bit more tempo in that first drive, and I would look for that to continue because that's what offensive coordinator Greg Davis would like to do. So, very successful first drive, and I have to credit NIU's defense really doing a good job of keeping them out of the end zone once Iowa got to the red zone.
The dangerous Tommy Lee Lewis is back to return with Perez Ashford. Lewis had 2 touchdown returns in one game against Toledo. And he'll take it from the step in and wants to bring it out. Tommy Lee Lewis breaks it to the near side, gets a block to the 20 and spins, and he fights his way out to the 28-yard line. A fantastic return for Lewis, a sophomore from Riviera Beach, Florida. Nico Law with a special team stop. And a change at quarterback for Northern Illinois. Chandler Harnish, the MAC Player of the Year, is gone, and now it's Jordan Lynch under center.
Big shoes to fill, replacing Chandler Harnish, the 4-year starter who arguably was the best quarterback in NIU history. So Jordan does a good job. He's a tremendous competitor, and that'll be on display today.
Chicago native ran the triple option in high school at Mount Carmel, and he calls his own number to take it forward for 10 yards. He is a fantastic runner. In high school, he averaged better than 6 yards a carry, and he showed signs of his speed last year.
And they'll have some pace to this offense as well. Last year, over 5.5 for an average.
Another quarterback keeper as he follows Jamaal Womble. This time gets 2. Northern Illinois earlier this week told us they would not mind an up-tempo game at all from Iowa's perspective, because that's what they want to do offensively. Keep the clock rolling and keep the defense on the field. Leighton Settle is the new running back. It will be by committee today for the Huskies. Play action. Lynch throws. Complete. Makes a man miss. And fights to the 45-yard line, Martell Moore. 3rd and 4 coming for Northern Illinois as we take a look at the Huskies' impact players.
On the offensive side, Martell Moore and Perez Ashford, those guys both come into this game last year catching 47 receptions. They're the speedsters on the outside.
Hakeem Daniels is in the game at running back for the first time. 3 plays, 3 different running backs for the Huskies. Four wide for Jordan Lynch. And on the jet sweep, he gives it to Tommy Lee Lewis, who gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. Nothing doing for Northern Illinois. So good on the ground to start, and then Micah Hyde and James Morris sniffed out that play.
Tom, anytime you get a speedster going east and west or sideline to sideline, you've done your job as an Iowa defense. And NIU came out with great pace and good quarterback running, but unless they can convert on 3rd down to keep drives alive, they're going to depend a lot on the running of Jordan Lynch, but he's going to have to do something on 3rd down to be competitive in this game.
And so the Huskies will punt it away. Micah Hyde set to return. He asked for a fair catch at the 18-yard line. So 1 first down gain by Northern Illinois and a 39-yard punt that time from Ryan Neer. Hawkeyes able to stack up to stop the run, and they handle the jet sweep with ease. Hawkeyes back on offense after this.
I'm your lucky team, Flag. We've gone through 14 seasons together, but in Flag years, I'm like 130. Now, I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate, where agents keep you protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
100 yards is 100 yards. You score points on Friday, the same way you score points on Sunday. The rules say it's 11 players against 11 players. But the rules don't say anything about how fast they can be. The Nike Vapor Talent Elite, gear up with the best of Nike football at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Everybody remembers the play. But what about the strategy? The teamwork? The execution? That is logistics. And that is what we do.
This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
Iowa on offense for the second time today, leading Northern Illinois 3-0 with 6:22 to go in the first quarter. Let's take a look at one of the keys for the Hawkeyes today.
Well, for Iowa to be successful, Tom, they're obviously going to have to run the football. But when they throw it, I like James Vandenberg in the shotgun because, one, it gives you great vision of what you're going to see down the field. But it looks like he has nice rhythm. 1, 2, 3, plant that back foot and let it go. Pitt is in man coverage here. He's able to throw on rhythm, throw on time, and make a decisive decision down the field. If he can do that in shotgun today against NIU, I think he'll have success, especially with his offensive coordinator, Greg Davis, opening up this offense for him.
And you mentioned how Davis is able to mold his offense to fit the talents at quarterback. He did a great job of that at Texas, although they stalled a little bit over the last few years in Austin. Vandenberg under center. And play action, has all day to throw, wanted to go deep, check short, and that is incomplete. Off the hands of his running back Bullock. Jamaal Bass able to bring the pressure on Bullock. How deep did Vandenberg want to go?
Really deep. He wanted to throw it outside of Soldier Field there, and I think he still had a chance. It was man-to-man coverage all the way down the field. That's when you have to take your shot. So if James were to have that play back, I think he would have tried to push the issue down the field and let one of his wide receivers go up and make a play for him.
The Northern Illinois coaches expected more Kirk Ferentz-based offense, zone read in and out when it comes to the running game, but they know Greg Davis is going to mix it up as well. And so far they've shown good balance here early on. The one-back set. This is Bullock again, and a flag on the play as he carries it out to the 25-yard line.
Looked like Sean Progar from Northern Illinois may have been in that neutral zone and had an early start on the short side of the field.
Dave Whitvote, our referee. And the public address system is not working at all throughout Soldier Field today, not just our mics. And so offside Northern Illinois, as you mentioned.
It's a great down, 2nd and 5. It's a great down to go ahead and give your veteran quarterback a chance to push one down the field. I know that Iowa's been winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, but right now, if you could get a matchup with your big tight end, great down to do it.
Fedorowicz and Derby, the tight ends in the game right now for Iowa. And on the ground, Bullock has nowhere to go. That will bring up 3rd down. Greg Davis had never really run zone read at Texas until Vince Young came along, and boy did they run it well with Vince Young.
Well, I think you or I, if we were the offensive coordinators, we may have come to that conclusion as well, Tom. But you know, he does what his team and his players around him do well, and I think that's why James Vandenberg gives him the luxury of molding this offense into a couple different facets, and I think that's why the coordinator-quarterback relationship is so good here.
National championship here in 2005. They had the 2nd best rushing offense and 3rd best overall offense in the nation at Texas. Vandenberg pressure, drop from behind. Alan Baxter gets to the quarterback for the first time today. A loss of 9 for Iowa, and Northern Illinois will come up with tremendous field position.
Alan Baxter just lowers that left shoulder. He's at the top of the screen and just runs right around Brandon Scherf. It was a great job of lowering the shoulder, getting low, and then bringing those hips with him. He had the quarterback, James Vandenberg, in his sights. -9 on the sack. He had 5.5 last year. He gets 1 this year.
Connor Cornbrat to punt it away from his own goal line. Perez Ashford to receive a low line drive, and that pushes Ashford back to the 33-yard line. First man can't bring him down. The 3rd can with help, and great special teams coverage by the Hawkeyes and B.J. Lowry. A 51-yard punt and a 5-yard return, but it started when Baxter was able to get to Vandenberg. The senior from Buffalo Grove, Illinois, making his presence felt early.
And he's like a hero. Been a hero. Took a heroic effort.
Every day we bring to our fans the world of sports. We speak of heroes and heroism, but there are days when sports matter little and heroes matter more. These heroes don't hit walk-off homers or buzzer-beating threes. They simply made a plan for what to do when disaster strikes. You never know when you might need to be the hero, because you never know if today is the day before a natural disaster. Prepare, plan, be a hero. Visit Ready.
There aren't many things in the world that are absolutely free without some kind of catch. Well, today, there is no catch. Call now and get the new Warrior Tomahawk Hybrid Iron absolutely free. No gimmicks, no purchase necessary. Over a $200 retail value, free. All we ask is that you give us an accurate evaluation of the club's performance because your feedback is vitally needed before it's released to retail stores. Warrior makes this new 19-degree hybrid with extreme weighting technology. You'll hit this club longer and straighter than any other iron. Get the new Warrior Tomahawk Hybrid Iron today, and all you pay is for shipping and handling. Supplies are limited, so call now. Get the new Warrior Tomahawk Hybrid Iron today. It's time to make Warrior's Tomahawk Hybrid Iron your new weapon of choice. No purchase necessary and no catches. It's absolutely free. Call now.
Northwestern had a 22-point lead on Syracuse. The Orange scored 28 straight. Then Trevor Simeon, the backup quarterback, finds Demetrius Fields in the end zone. Point after good, 42-41 with 14 seconds to go in the Carrier Dome.
Now, welcome back to Chicago. Thanks, guys. Iowa leads Northern Illinois. Weather hasn't been an issue today. We hope it is not. Primetime college football makes a return to ESPNU tonight. First at 7, third-ranked LSU, the defending SEC champs, open the season against North Texas. Then at 10:30, the Arizona Wildcats host the Toledo Rockets. ESPN's primetime college football presented by 5 Hour Energy tonight at 7 and 10:30 on ESPNU. Win streaks on the line for LSU. 37 consecutive regular season non-conference wins and 17 in a row at Death Valley.
I would say Les is pretty confident at home.
First and 10 for Northern Illinois. And to the backfield, and nothing doing for Leighton Settle, the junior from Madison, Wisconsin, who couldn't settle the ball in his hands. The idea that the Huskies would go with a rotating crew in the backfield doesn't seem to have worked yet. We've already seen 3 different running backs, and this is only their second possession. Well,
the running's going to be from the quarterback. That's the primary guy you have to watch if you're Northern Illinois. If you're going to win this game, you have to have success running the football from the quarterback position.
And now Settle, and he moves the pile with his second effort and makes up for lost ground before Tom Donatel can bring him down. And that will bring up 3rd and short.
Great second and third effort by Settle on that second down play to get in a great situation on 3rd down. This is usually a quarterback run play for Northern Illinois.
They load up the backfield with tight ends Luke Ekus and Jason Shepler, and they hand off to the running back, who is hit behind the line of scrimmage and still finds his way to sneak through. What a fantastic job by the senior Jamaal Womble. Hawkeyes thought they had him for a 3-yard loss.
Well, on second down, it was Settle with the second and third effort. Now you get Jamaal Wobble. He's stuffed on the left side of the line of scrimmage. The Iowa Hawkeyes have him wrapped up, but he keeps those legs going, and he brings that big body, 5'10", almost 250 pounds, north and south.
3 wide receivers in the game, but the quarterback will keep it, and wrestled to the ground is Jordan Lynch by Louis Trinca-Passat. 2 Chicago kids going head-to-head. Passat is from Lane Tech here in Chicago, and Jordan Lynch from Mount Carmel High School, just down the road.
Tom, this will be the biggest challenge for Jordan Lynch. Can he be successful on a predictable passing down?
2nd and 7. Forget about predictable passing. They're just going to pound it. And they do that with Leighton Settle. So at what point will Iowa recognize that, and like they did on the first drive after they moved the sticks, just sell out?
I think the closer you get to the red zone, and once you cross the 30, 25-yard line, I would think Iowa would go more man coverage and commit more to the box, because right now Jordan Lynch isn't threatening you through the air.
On 3rd down, Lynch wants to run, and he's got another hole up the middle before Tanner Miller wrestles him down after a Husky first down. 10-yard gain on the quarterback keeper by Jordan Lynch.
What a competitor Jordan Lynch is. He finds a crease, and that's good blocking at the point of attack. He doesn't try to run around anybody. He runs through people.
Northern Illinois running out of passing formations as well. Moore, Ashford, and Wells, the wide receivers in the game. Lynch dumps it to the backfield. And this is Leighton Settle. And he's got another Northern Illinois first down. A great job out of the no-huddle, changing personnel, and they do so here again, running Akeem Daniels back on the field, and others.
Northern Illinois keeps the pressure on you. If you're a defense, you're running sideline to sideline constantly because of the pace of this offense.
1st and 10, and Jordan Lynch didn't get the signal from the sideline. He wants to check. He still has plenty of time on the play clock. And movement on the right side, but Northern Illinois wanted a timeout. The line judge will rush in, and we'll see if they get the timeout before the movement. The line judge was passing that information on.
I believe they're going to get that timeout.
Timeout, Northern Illinois. No flag on the play. And so the Huskies use their first timeout with 1:35 to go in the first quarter under first-year starter Jordan Lynch at quarterback.
Really impressed about Jordan Lynch coming in to a situation that he has to replace arguably, which was the best quarterback in school history in Chandler Harnish. He set all these records, over 30 records. He's been able to throw the football effectively, run the football effectively, move this offense, and it seems like the players around him have the confidence in what he can do at that position.
We've already seen how difficult it can be early in the season in college football to replace a starter, and an effective one as well. Michigan State pulled out a win against Boise last night, but Joe Southwick having a hard time replacing Kellen Moore. And how do you replace Andrew Luck at Stanford?
Very difficult, and they were able to find a way to win because Nunes was 16 of 26 for 125 and a touchdown. But if you don't turn it over from the position and you can get guys around you to help you out, just like Jordan Lynch has Wabo and Settle doing right now, you can win football games.
And zone read again. This time he hands it off to Settle. Tries to cut back. Bunch of white jerseys, so he changes directions. And he gets a positive gain after a play that was going to lose yards. B.J. Lowry finally brings him down. That's like making a U-turn on Lakeshore.
Unbelievable. If he would get to the outside, Settle, once he goes ahead and cuts this back, there is nothing but black jerseys on the outside. If he just takes the ball right now and goes to the outside, back to his right, there's nothing but a cavalry waiting for him, but he didn't get to the edge.
Easier said than done. Keith Harris is in the game, and Lynch, maybe a busted play, has to work his way behind his running back Daniels. Dominic Alvis brings him down. All of a sudden, a drive that was sailing along seems to stall here as Northern Illinois faces a 3rd and 6 nearing the end of the first quarter. They can still get 2 plays off.
And here's where the change from Iowa comes in. Phil Parker's going to bring his nickel formation in, but there's a little confusion on the defensive side. They're trying to get a timeout call.
They don't need a timeout. When the offense is going no huddle and substitutes, the defense is allowed to substitute at will until the officials deem it as ready. But the Hawkeyes use a timeout anyway to get everybody settled. And we've seen that already. Northern Illinois, out of the no huddle, is subbing 2, 3, 4 guys at a time.
And they're organized, Tom. So that makes Iowa make sure that they have the correct personnel on the defensive side of the football. That time, Phil Parker wasn't sure, so they went the conservative route and took a timeout.
3-0. Iowa leads Northern Illinois. Second possession for the Huskies here in the season opener. You're watching the All-State Game of the Week on ESPNU. The Iowa Hawkeyes taking on the Northern Illinois Huskies here at Soldier Field in Chicago. Check out the new late-night show, Unite. Get all the latest news in sports with a comedic and social twist and a live in-studio DJ soundtrack. It's a perfect nightcap for your sports day. Unite, ESPN's first late-night entertainment show, Monday at midnight on ESPNU. And so the Huskies on the 1s and 2s here as they work their way into the red zone. And they go 5 wide out of the Iowa timeout.
You have to watch the quarterback run here.
Just that, straight ahead. And Miller with the stop, but after the Husky first down by Jordan Lynch. A gain of 7 for the junior quarterback.
They spread you out, and then they run the quarterback draw. It's a design play up the middle. And Jordan Lynch is so big, he can carry people with you. So if you don't square up and get a good lick on him, most of the time he's going to continue for yards after first contact. It's a luxury when you have a quarterback that can do that.
They're going to let the first quarter clock run out. All the skill guys are on the sideline. Only the 5 offensive linemen are ready for the play. Nobody tells the linemen anything these days.
That's all right. They've got one job and one job only.
First quarter comes to an end. What a fun start from Soldier Field. Iowa scored first, and now Northern Illinois running right down the guts of the Hawkeyes. Second quarter from Soldier Field coming up after this.
North Texas LSU, tonight at 7 on ESPNU.
There's something about cars. We connect with them. We share them. It's the same feeling that drives Pennzoil to tirelessly pursue the latest advances in oil technology. Because a car is more than just a car. Long, love cars. Not just oil, Pennzoil. Now's a great time to try the synthetics that keep pistons cleaner than any leading synthetic oil. Details at pennzoil.com.
Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, gotta be me. Gotta be me. I gotta be me. Oh, I gotta be me. Lost crying, but who I am, gotta be me.
To win the Capital One Cup and be the best in men's and women's college sports, you gotta lay it all on the line. Every play, every game, in every sport. Teams are battling it out for NCAA Division I championships, $400,000 in student-athlete scholarships, and the Capital One Cup trophy. More metal for the case. Like Capital One Cup on Facebook to follow your school in the race to become the best in college sports and earn bragging rights all year long.
How do you make summer feel 90 days longer? Get to the Mazda Summer Drive, because you can save big on a 2012 Mazda 3 with no payments for 90 days and 0% APR for 60 months. So get our hottest deal of the summer on the 40 MPG Highway Mazda 3 with Skyactiv technology. 0% APR for 60 months, no payments for 90 days. Only at the Mazda Summer Drive, and only for a limited time.
Hawkeyes lead 3-0, but it's the Huskies who've been running all over so far today.
They've done such a nice job of running the quarterback in between the tackles, and it's no hesitation, Tom. He's north and south, and he's running through Iowa would-be tacklers. He's carrying people with him. He's had so much success on the 6 carries he's had today, especially when we get down into the red zone. When you don't account for the quarterback running the football, that's where he can be the most effective.
6 carries for Jordan Lynch today, 5 for the rest of the backfield, including wide receiver Tommy Lee Lewis. Akeem Daniels is in there now with Keith Harris Jr., the freshman from Chicago who burst on the scene 2 weeks ago. To the left side, to the end zone. Touchdown Huskies, Keith Harris Jr. The first collegiate carry for the freshman from Leo High School in Chicago results in a Husky touchdown.
And Tom, this is a running back that came out of nowhere a couple weeks ago in a scrimmage. He goes 7 yards off the left side. He reaches over and breaks the plane with that football. Just an aggressive run to the short side of the field. And NIU answers with 6 points.
And the Big Ten replay crew wants to take a second look. Under further review, pardon me, it's a Big Ten officiating crew, and it is a MAC-assigned replay crew here today, led by Verl Sell. Good to see Verl at the stadium again.
Take another look at this. See if the knee goes down before Harris Jr. is able to get the football across. The knee's down there, but that line goes straight up all the way to the sky. So it looked like, from our vantage point, that ball may have crossed and broke the plane before that left knee touched the ground.
It must be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was a touchdown.
Take another look there. That's going to be tough to call because that, I would say he's in the end zone. That's going to be tough to overturn.
Well, regardless of how this call comes out, Northern Illinois has turned up their running game, and Iowa has had a tough time slowing them down. Play stands after further review. Northern Illinois takes the lead, and we await an extra point attempt from Matthew Sims. It was 2 weeks ago where Harris had a big scrimmage that burst him on the scene and earned him his first carry today, which results in a Northern Illinois touchdown. Sims, key kicker for them last year, won a couple of games late, and he's made 42 consecutive PATs. Make it 43. What did you see out of that Northern Illinois drive?
Well, a lot of guys contributing. That's what you'd like to see. You see all the running backs getting involved. Womble had a nice run. Settle had a couple nice runs. Then you get in the red zone, and it's Jordan Lynch that moves the chains and sets up Keith Harris Jr. So the running of the quarterback is really going to dictate how this game offensively is going to go for head coach Dave Doran and his offense. But when you can have a home run guy get inside the red zone like he did with a young freshman, get his first collegiate touchdown on the short side of the field, that gets everybody really excited.
With that zone read and Lynch being so effective on the quarterback keepers, how does that affect how the safeties and secondary play it?
It brings hesitation into the ball game. It freezes the defensive ends. You can't go downhill if you're a safety and commit outside, because the quarterback, if he gets a crease, he's fast enough and tough enough to find a lane and bust one up the middle. So it makes everybody play defensively on their heels.
Greg Garman back to receive for Iowa along with Keenan Davis. And Tyler Waddell slips on the kickoff. The turf already an issue here in Chicago. One of the up men will take it and take it out to the 37-yard line. That's Mark Weissman. Now let's take you to our studio. Here is Matt Schick.
Thank you, guys. Florida trying to forget last season. John Pettigrew and Bowling Green trying to make them remember. In from a yard out, 7-0 Bowling Green up on Florida. Rex Burkhead with a long touchdown run. 14-7 Nebraska over Southern Miss, and Wisconsin up 3-0 on Northern Iowa. Back to Tom.
Thanks, Matt. And Maction here with Northern Illinois in the lead, and the turf seemingly becoming an issue as this game progresses. No such issues for Damon Bullock, who rips off a 9-yard run brought to arm by Deshaun Durant. The Chicago Park District will meet with the Chicago Bears after today's game to determine how much of the field needs to be replaced. This has been an ongoing issue. Even the mayor has gotten involved. Last year, the Bears canceled their fan day when they came out of training camp, showed up here, and refused to play on the Soldier Field turf. The idea is that they may go to an artificial surface in the near future as Bullock bowls his way for a first down. They also had a high school game here on August 26th. New this year, sand-based instead of clay-based, but it continues to be an issue.
Well, the sidelines look perfect, but it's out on when they paint the field in the middle is where it's really worn down. It looks like we had our pitching wedge and sand wedge out there, Tom, taking a few divots from about 90 yards out. So there's a lot of work to do on this field. There's a lot of sand. Like you said, that base doesn't look very firm to me when I was walking on it in pregame.
It was ugly last year. They had an emergency side replacement at about this time before the Bears' NFL regular season opened. Vandenberg rolls out, finds his tight end, and gets a block from another tight end. It's Zach Derby, who is running behind Fedorowicz at the end of the play. Gain of 9 for 2nd and 1.
Just a nice job of executing the offense right now by James Vandenberg. A good fake Off tackle to the right side. It's wide open, so all he has to do is play pitch and catch. That's what he has to do to the NIU defense. He has to make them guess, run, and be able to execute the plan on the edge. Get outside, get in shotgun, and be able to use that right arm to put points on the scoreboard.
Greg Davis had so many different quarterbacks at Texas. We mentioned Vince Young already. And the zone read. Here's Bullock now. He also had some great running backs there. Guys like Ricky Williams and Cedric Benson were power backs. And it looks early on like Damon Bullock. I might put him in that category just yet, but he looks like a power Big Ten back today.
Tom, he's a one-cut runner, and you love the way he runs because there's no hesitation. 13 rushes for 59 yards, almost 5 yards a carry. He's one cut, he's north and south, and that'll help this offense move the chains down the field.
Big question mark at running back coming into this season for the Iowa Hawkeyes. We've seen a lot of turnover in the backfield. Vandenberg wants a throw, lets it go complete, and this is C.J. Fedorowicz. Another play for his tight end and another big gain. Rashawn Melvin brings him down. Greg Davis has coached 4 different Big 12 Offensive Players of the Year in his time at Texas. 3 of them quarterbacks. And 3 very different quarterbacks. So you look at how they played and the systems that they played in. So he takes a lot of pride in being able to mold his system to his quarterback's strength. 2nd and 1, Bullock spins at the line of scrimmage and falls forward. Jimmy Ward there for the stop, but after a gain of 5.
Tom, the one thing you do notice about running backs on both sides of the football, they're getting yards after first contact, and that's what you like about a north and south runner, because you can make contact at the line of scrimmage, but if you can spin out of that, if you can break an arm tackle, if you can extend a 2 or 3 yard run to 4 or 5 yards, you keep the offense on the field, you stay out of bad third down situations, and you give your quarterback a chance now to cash in.
Vandenberg trying to set up a little bubble screen. Where's Jordan Shipley when you need him? Don Shumpert with the catch, and he gets popped at the line of scrimmage. Rashawn Melvin there with the stop. Well, that's something that Texas really did well with Colt McCoy quarterback.
Really did. Get rid of the football on time with authority to the outside and spread you not only vertically but horizontally. That time the defense of NIU was on the spot, but offensive coordinator Greg Davis doing a nice job of running in between the tackles and now trying to stretch you outside with the passing game.
It wasn't all peachy keen in Austin for Greg Davis. The last 3 years there, they averaged 47th in the nation in offense and 49th in their rushing offense. That's why Mack Brown made a change with his coordinators. Maybe 2 yards straight ahead. Again, Bullock, who's really carrying the load today, 15th carry. And he's got to get that chin strap fixed. Remember the new helmet rule this year. If your helmet comes off, you have to come out of play. That is the rule at its most basic. Bullock just replacing his chin strap as Kirk Ferentz looks on.
If I'm Vandenberg, I'm looking at C.J. Fedorowicz. If you can get a matchup left side and he's in the gun, this is where he's at his best.
Northern Illinois shows blitz. Vandenberg in the face of pressure nearly picked off. Rashawn Melvin with a great break on the ball. It was Alan Baxter who found his way in. Second pressure of the day for Alan Baxter from his end.
That was tough coverage on the outside. Rashawn Melvin did a good job. May have gotten away with a little hand grab on a jersey. The officials didn't see it, but that was aggressive coverage at the cornerback position.
40-yard attempt for Mike Meyer. His long last year was 50. And he's made one from 34 already today. John Winkie is the holder. And it stays wide. Northern Illinois will get the ball back after a long drive for Iowa. The 10-play drive carries 41 yards but stalls on the missed 40-yarder.
It's a Taco Supreme in a shell made of real nacho cheese Doritos. If you're still thinking about trying it, you're overthinking it. The Doritos Locos Tacos, taking tacos way past awesome.
For more than 60 years, Wrangler has been making jeans more comfortable. Fine by me.
Wrangler jeans give you comfort where you want it. They don't cut and bind like most jeans.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans are made with a U-shaped construction. They don't cut into you like jeans with a V pattern.
Room where you need it, comfort where it counts.
The most comfortable jeans you'll ever wear.
There's nothing like Wrangler comfort.
Wrangler.
Real, comfortable jeans.
Not bad, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You too.
They'll see you before you see them. Cops are cracking down on drinking and driving. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Why should golfers take 5-hour energy? Playing golf all day can make you tired. I've been taking the product for about a year, and after taking 5-hour energy, I feel more energized. I have more energy. You know, I'm not tired anymore after taking it. I was skeptical, but I decided one day I'd try it. 5-hour energy works fast. I have the energy to get through a meeting, to get through a workout. It keeps me alert for a long period of time and keeps me going. On or off the course, play with energy. 5-hour energy.
Welcome back to the All-State Game of the Week. Northern Illinois leads Iowa 7-3. Take a look at one of the keys for the Huskies today.
Well, Northern Illinois has done a nice job of running the football, whether it's the quarterback or the running backs, but they like to move people around, bring people in motion, make you believe that you're going to run the football again between the tackles, and that allows Montel Moore, who's flashed down on the bottom of the screen, to get behind the secondary. NIU would love to do this. Last year they did it with Chandler Harnish. Jordan Lynch has the same ability to do this. Fake the run inside, fake the end around, go back and throw it deep down the middle of the football field, especially now that they've run the football so effectively early in this game, Tom.
And they did it with great success under Harnish, who over the last 2 years has 76 rushes of 10+ yards, second among quarterbacks only to Shoelace, Denard Robinson. On the zone read, they give to the running back, Leighton Steele. And Steele takes it forward for 4. I mean, Harnish's numbers better than Kansas State's Colin Klein and Robert Griffin III, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Baylor. And here's a toss to settle. And he takes it to the 30. Tanner Miller from his safety spot. Is this Huskies offense put a lot of pressure on the Iowa safeties?
It puts a lot of pressure on all 11 players out there because right now a lot of hands on the hips from Iowa. You have to get ready, you have to get set, and you have to be lined up accordingly because one misalignment could make a big play into a touchdown.
3rd and 2, quarterback keeper, nothing doing for Jordan Lynch. Great push up front from an unproven Iowa line, and Louis Trinca-Passat, Chicago native, there with the safety Tanner Miller.
You called it. Trinca-Passat at the point of attack doing a nice job holding down that defensive line for the Hawkeyes. That was a big 3-and-out by this Iowa defense. You want to get the football back. You just come back and miss a field goal on your last possession. This defense needed a big possession. 3-and-out is exactly what head coach Kirk Ferentz ordered.
Ryan Neer to punt it away to Micah Hyde. Flag on the play. Hyde lets it bounce, and it came awfully close to an Iowa player. The flag was back near the line of scrimmage. 33-yard punt if it stands. It's against Iowa, and so Northern Illinois can discuss it. Pardon me, against Northern Illinois, an illegal shift. And Iowa will take 5 yards on the back end of that punt. But it's 3-and-out for the Huskies of Northern Illinois after the Hawkeye is able to find Jordan Lynch on his quarterback keeper.
Road trip, buddy. put some music on.
Welcome to Learning Spanish in the Car.
You gotta be kidding me. This is good.
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Gracias.
Gracias.
13 horas en el carro sin parar y no traes música. Mira, entra y cómprame unas papitas.
Get up to 795 miles per tank in the 2013 Passat TDI Clean Diesel. That's the power of German engineering. See your local dealer for special lease and finance rates during the Autobahn for All event.
You may ask one question.
Which tire category should I choose to get the most comfortable ride?
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Get the answers you need, online or on the phone, to find the right tires at the right price. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
A nasty D-line and bruising backfield has Les Miles' Bayou Bengals near the top of the polls as the defending SEC champs open the season against North Texas. North Texas LSU, tonight at 7 on ESPNU.
Matt Chick updating you on games in progress. Boston College ended the year last year with a win over Miami. Miami looking for some retribution. Chase Reddick picked off by Denzel Perryman, 41 yards, tied at 14.
All right, thanks. And what a great day for the MAC so far. Ohio spoiled Penn State's opener, and Florida trails early against Bowling Green 7-0 in the second quarter. If Northern Illinois can pull this one off in front of a black and gold crowd here in Chicago, that'd be another great day for the MAC.
It really would, and this is a team that's used to winning. They come in with the longest winning streak in the nation at 9. They do such a good job of rallying the troops on defense and offense. The tempo is what you worry about.
Vandenberg to throw against the blitz. He finds his man, Cavante Martin-Manley, sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan. Jimmy Ward with the stop. And now, Iowa will go no huddle.
Now you see the tempo on the other side of the football. Not as quick as Northern Illinois, but something unusual. You don't see this normally out of an Iowa offense.
Freshman Greg Garman is the running back. His carry right into the arms of the Husky defensive line and the ball Jefferson. Welcome to college football, Greg Garman.
That's right. That time Greg Garman was looking back saying, James, how about keeping that one? No one was on the right side.
Well, when you have a quarterback like James Vandenberg running the zone read,
it's unusual a little bit for him, but he's used to third down situations.
And he lets it go, batted away, but a flag on the play. Demetrius Stone, to the blind eye, had fantastic coverage on Keenan Davis. Now with the benefit of replay, we can see if it deserved a flag.
Demetrius Stone was all over this coverage. Short side of the screen, bottom of the screen. Looked like there's contact around the waist. That right arm, that right hand got involved a little bit early, and that's going to draw a flag every time. Davis coming out of the route, but Stone has that right arm around the waist. You can see it right there clearly before the pass got there. That's going to draw a flag every time.
Well, the senior from Miami, Florida, had 55 tackles and a pick last year, allows Iowa to extend the drive with a first down. Vandenberg over the middle, caught, carrying is Keenan Davis, who took a defender with him. That will set up 2nd and 1. Deshaun Durant with the stop, and the up-tempo from Iowa continues.
Great job by Vandenberg timing in the offense. The ball comes out as soon as that back foot plants.
Hand off to Garman, and he carries for a first down. This is, to folks who have watched Iowa football over the last dozen years, this is not a typical Kirk Ferentz tempo. Vandenberg dumps it to his tight end. And the ball came loose at the end of the play after Fedorowicz was down. James Ferentz, the center, covered it up.
But you like what I was doing. You're putting all the pressure on your quarterback, who knows this offense inside and out.
Long pass to the edge, bobbled by Don Shumpert, who gets cut down, and that will bring up a third down. Coverage by Jimmy Ward.
That's a great tackle, open field tackle by Jimmy Ward, coming from the safety position all the way in the middle of the field and making a clean tackle on the edge. That could have been a 5 or 10-yard gain, and he held it to a minimal gain. Just a nice job by the safety.
Iowa's converted 2 of 5 third downs, and Vandenberg uses a timeout. With 6:11 to go in the second quarter, Hawkeyes face a 3rd and 6. We'll step aside with them. Back to Soldier Field in a moment.
The Experts, Tuesdays at 2:30, all season long on ESPNU.
To win the Capital One Cup and be the best in men's and women's college sports, you gotta lay it all on the line. Every play, every game, in every sport. Teams are battling it out for NCAA Division 1.
7-3 lead for Northern Illinois. 6:11 to go in the second quarter at Soldier Field. An epic matchup is featured in the Cowboys Classic on ABC. 8th-ranked Michigan rolls into Arlington for a showdown with 2nd-ranked Alabama, attempting to defend its national title. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows as part of Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week. Michigan versus Alabama, Saturday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Third and 6 out of the timeout for Iowa. On the ground, and a timeout called before the snap by Northern Illinois. Each of those last 2 timeouts have come from the sideline. Huskies from a second ago, and before that Kirk Ferentz wanted to stop that up tempo. Speaking of tempo, will Michigan and Denard Robinson be able to run against Alabama?
That's the big question, because now there's so much pressure on Robinson to be able not only to run the football, because he's going to get his yards, but is he able to make the big plays down the field like he was last year against Notre Dame to win late, like he was in a bunch of those games where it was tight to a certain point and then he was able to make a big play. I think Alabama's so fast defensively that they're going to play him a lot like they played Cam Newton when he was in college. Try to get that net around the front 7 and make him stay in the pocket to beat you.
It's the 5-year anniversary of Michigan losing at home to Appalachian State. Where would this rank if Michigan's able to take down Alabama in terms of upsets?
I still think we talk about it, but very briefly.
Vandenberg and Iowa trying to avoid the upset here in what is technically a home game for Northern Illinois, but a lot of black and gold has filed into Soldier Field today. After consecutive timeouts, 3rd and 6. Blitz coming. Vandenberg steps up. He will run and pick up the first down against the pressure. What a play by James Vandenberg. A drop back passer who shows off his wheels.
Well, James Vandenberg does a nice job of eluding pressure, but they bring a safety blitz from the short side of the field. He was able to sidestep the would-be tackler and move the chains.
And back to snap it again out of the no huddle, and a positive gain for Greg Garmin.
The cornerback's going to come on a blitz from the edge, and now Vandenberg's going to step up in between. Right there, he's going to step in between and move around Rashawn Melvin. That's a great job by Vandenberg, feeling the pressure and almost setting the bait for the cornerback, staying in the pocket, getting that speed to come up from the corner like he has a kill shot, and then he slips inside and moves the chains on a big 3rd down conversion.
Right tackle Brett Van Sloten down with an ankle injury. One of 5 Iowa starting offensive linemen who are all from the state of Iowa. And so we'll see how the Hawkeyes back up Van Sloten at right tackle. Andrew Donnell will replace him on the right side of the line. That's exactly where Vandenberg went a moment ago.
Just a great job by Vandenberg. He sees the blitz and he has to make a play now, but the key that really helped him out was he sat back in the pocket just enough for Rashawn Melvin to think, hey, I've got a kill shot. Instead of just breaking down and containing, because that's all he had to do, and he had a stop on 3rd down.
Greg Garman, the running back. 2nd and 6 for the Hawkeyes. Garman, the freshman, swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Peter Jock, the first man to meet him. A pickup of 1 for the Hawkeyes.
Tom, if there's ever a chance on the football field to go to a big tight end, it's down in the red zone. C.J. Fedorowicz, he's a guy that has such a great wingspan. You want to get the ball close, and if Kirk Ferentz and Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, decide to push the football through the air, Fedorowicz has 3 receptions for 20 yards. He'd be a huge target in the red zone.
10th play of the drive now for the Hawkeyes. Movement for Derby. Vandenberg steps up again, rolls again. He could still throw. Flag on the play, and he takes a pop. Brought down by Tyrone Clark as Vandenberg got off balance. All for naught after the flag. And you could tell Tyrone Clark, after sitting out a year, was licking his chops with a chance to put grass stains on Vandenberg's back.
Last year, you're right, he was frustrated sitting out on the sidelines, but he's that emotional leader that you need. It looked like it was a holding call against the Hawkeyes on 3rd and short. Big decision here. He should decline it and bring on the field goal unit, I would think, to bring up 4th and about 4.
That was on number 85, the tight end, Zach Derby, according to Dave Whitvote.
Yeah, Derby was outflanked on the outside, trying to provide some blocking down the field for Vandenberg once he left the pocket. But this is a huge hit by Tyrone Clark. He came in with one mission and one mission only, and that was to separate Vandenberg from the football.
Andrew Donnell, the new right tackle, had a fistful of jersey as well. So no matter who Dave Whitvote saw, maybe a couple of Hawks were holding. Here's Mike Meyer on to attempt 29-yarder. And the chip shot is good for Meyer with 4:23 to go in the 2nd quarter. Got a 1-point game in the opener for Iowa and Northern Illinois from Soldier Field.
Whether it's Kevin's smartphone, Mom's smartphone, Dad's tablet, or Lauren's smartphone, AT&T has a plan built to help make families' lives easier. Introducing AT&T Mobile Share. One plan lets you share data on up to 10 devices with unlimited talk and text. Add a tablet for only $10 per month. The more data you share, the more you save. AT&T.
Reasons to follow in others' footsteps? 0. Things weighing on your mind when running? 0. Reasons to buy an Ultra shoe? 0. Drop. 0 Drop places your heel and forefoot the same distance from the ground for natural posture, more power, and better running technique. Stress caused from squeezed toes? 0. Ultra's foot-shaped toe box lets your toes relax, creating a natural platform for more stability, maximum comfort, and improved performance. Connection lost between foot and ground? 0. Ultra gives you a responsive ride, plus full A-bound cushioning underfoot. Number of other companies that combine 0 Drop, foot shape, and full cushioning in a single shoe? 0. Introducing Ultra. Visit ultrazerodrop.com now for free shipping. Wear them for 30 days. If you don't run better, send them back. 0 questions asked. Ultra. 0 Drop, 0 limits.
I'm Matt Chick. Coming up at halftime, the Bill O'Brien era begins with a loss. We will have those highlights from State College. Urban renewal in Columbus as Braxton Miller has a huge day, and we'll run down the highlights of the rest of the top 25.
All right, thanks, Matt. Here in Chicago, Northern Illinois leads Iowa 7-6. As the Huskies defense perfects its plan. It's been pretty good against the Hawkeyes today, and twice they've shut down the Hawkeyes in the red zone.
This defense is getting better for NIU the closer they get to the opponent's goal line, so that's a good sign for head coach Dave Doran.
New kickoff rules designed to get more touchbacks, and doing the job here is Tommy Lee Lewis takes a knee. Primetime college football makes a return to ESPNU tonight. First at 7, third-ranked LSU, the defending SEC champs, open the season against North Texas. Then at 10:30, the Arizona Wildcats host the Toledo Rockets. ESPN's primetime college football presented by 5 Hour Energy tonight at 7 and 10:30 on ESPNU. Well, do you know how the Toledo Rockets decided on their starting quarterback for today?
No.
Head coach Matt Campbell flipped a coin. It came up A for Austin Danton. He will start at quarterback for the Rockets.
Man, leave nothing to chance, I guess, on that offensive side.
Leighton Settle is the running back for Northern Illinois, and he picks up the yard. Tim Beckman left Toledo to take over at Illinois. Successful debut there earlier today.
Interesting to see the Rich Rod offense out in Arizona. A lot of coaches, former coaches that were at different places reunite. Jeff Castile, his former defensive coordinator, comes to Arizona from West Virginia. So want to see the offense, but more importantly, how that defense sets up out west.
2nd and 9 for Northern Illinois. A full backfield, and Lynch wants to throw, complete to Martell Moore. Loss of football on the way down, but plays hungry Hippo to get it back. B.J. Lowry was right there to bring him down and force the fumble.
Martell Moore very alert to get that football back in his possession, because it seems like the pace of this offense is coming back with 3:42 left to go before halftime and trying to get another score on the board. I've been so impressed with Jordan Lynch and his distribution of the football and the way he can run the football between the tackles.
4 wide now, and Akeem Daniels in the backfield. They fake the jet sweep, and Lynch dumps it off to Tommy Lee Lewis. Lewis with a move on the sideline to get past the line of scrimmage. And Anthony Hitchens, the junior outside linebacker.
May seem like a harmless play on first down right there, Tom, but that's a great decision by Jordan Lynch. He was under pressure. He thought about throwing the football up for grabs down the field, but knew he had an outlet to the sideline. That's a smart decision when you get your first start of the year and the first start of your career today against Iowa.
Steve Bigak was the one who brought pressure on Jordan Lynch, causing the dump off. 2nd and 8. Iowa goes man on the edge and throwing against man coverage, incomplete. Micah Hyde walked up on the wide receiver. Is that something Jordan Lynch wants to see?
Yeah, take a shot down there. If you're going to get man-to-man coverage, that's just good coverage and good positioning by Micah Hyde. He has the inside. He looks for the football. He forces the quarterback, Jordan Lynch, to make a perfect throw. That time maybe a yard or two out of the reach of the receiver. So Micah Hyde did an excellent job the inside position by the senior.
Deron Brown was the intended receiver there. Now Iowa in a flux on their coverages here. Lynch will just take off and run with it. A perfectly designed play for a Northern Illinois first down. They spread out 4. The Hawkeyes are confused on coverage, and it was a designed quarterback run.
Great call by offensive coordinator Mike Dunbar. They spread you out with 4 wide receivers to the top, single receiving down at the bottom of the screen, and it's man-to-man blocking up front for NIU's offensive line. It's a young offensive line, but when you have less numbers in the box, Tom, you can get away with that and move the chains on 3rd down.
And that is the 3rd time that Northern Illinois has run a quarterback scramble for a first down. Jordan Lynch has 43 yards on the ground. And the Huskies have converted 4 of their 6 3rd down opportunities. Lynch out play action, has 2 men going deep, trying to dial it up. And it is incomplete. Flag on the play. Hyde with the coverage on Martell Moore, and this will be a Huskies first down.
Micah Hyde in coverage again down the field. And we talked about a key play for Northern Illinois about moving people around, showing you motion, spreading you out, and then trying to hit the home run off of play action. That's exactly what Jordan Lynch does here. He gets his man-to-man shot down the field, and he throws it up and lets Moore try to go out and battle Micah Hyde. He gets the flag down inside the 10-yard line, and that's going to be 15 yards for NIU.
27th consecutive start for the quarterback Hyde out of Fostoria, Ohio.
Tom, that's always the toughest play for a defensive back when that ball hangs up there so long and you have a lot of infighting between Moore and Micah Hyde going for the football. That time he was called, but I'm not so sure that was a blatant pass interference. Looked like both ways pushing and shoving.
Hawkeyes and Scheffler in the backfield as tight ends. They go man coverage again, right back to Hyde spot. Caught! What a grab over the shoulder by Martell Moore. A big-time grab, and Northern Illinois with a 25-yard gain.
Jordan Lynch keeps going to the well, and Moore is the recipient. What a grab. He locates the football. This is a guy that had 3 100-yard receptions last year. None better than that catch right there.
Quick snap right back on the ground to Leighton Settle. This is the second straight play. They went right after Micah Hyde.
Well, it's a good split by Moore because he gives his quarterback all that room from the numbers to the sidelines, but you have to have incredible hand-eye coordination to go ahead and pick up the football over your left shoulder away from Micah Hyde. That's just a great individual effort by Martell Moore.
Lynch wants to throw. Stutter steps, trying to fake out a defensive lineman. Now he'll tuck, and he carries it across the sideline. Will end up all the way over at the wall. Darian Cooper, the freshman from Elkridge, Maryland, forced him out of bounds, a gain of 2.
Lynch doing a nice job of keeping the play alive. That's what you get when you have an athletic quarterback that can move. He can keep plays alive, and some coaches don't like to see it, but so far, Jordan Lynch has made great decisions, so you want him with the football in his hands, either running the football, play action, getting outside the pocket, especially in the red zone when things happen a little bit quicker. You like the decisions made by Jordan Lynch.
9th play of the drive. Lynch rolls, has time, lets it go in zone, incomplete. Both offenses have put together sustained drives here in the first half, but we only have 13 points to show for it. And on 4th down, the kicking team back on the field for Northern Illinois.
Well, Tom, both offenses have been able to move the football in between the 20s, but it's very tough going when you get in that red zone. Both defenses have been able to, for the most part, shut down the opposing offenses in the red zone.
Matthew Sims won the MAC championship game against Ohio with a field goal at the end of the game. This is a 28-yard attempt for the junior from Hannibal, Missouri. And Matthew Sims punches it through to extend the Northern Illinois advantage with 1:16 to go before the half. It was Martell Moore's big grab in man coverage that set up the score.
We need to have more of Moore if you're Northern Illinois, because he's made spectacular catches and great effort this entire afternoon. None better than that one against Micah Hyde. The ball's floating out, but he gives his quarterback enough room to throw the football with enough air underneath it. He can find the football, adjust to it, and then make the spectacular catch. 3 catches, 39 yards on the outside, over 13-yard average. He's done everything you can ask for from the split end position. He's been able to move in and out of routes, kind of give you some misdirection with formations, 4 wide receivers to one side. This has been a nice offensive scheme to start the game for Northern Illinois.
Was that a question of Northern Illinois going after Micah Hyde or more going to Martell Moore?
I think going to Martell Moore, because in all of those plays that he's made on the outside more, Micah Hyde's been in pretty good position. I just think that once they saw a green light to go down the field, they stayed aggressive, and you have to credit Mike Dunbar's play calling to stay that way.
Everyone on the kickoff team except for the kicker must have at least 1 foot inside 5-yard difference. Kicking from the 35. And Greg Garman takes it from the goal line. He's got a full head of steam, and he gets cut down just past the 20 at the 22 by Jimmy Ward. Celebrating its 8th year, it's sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. to date, Allstate has contributed more than $2.6 million in scholarship monies. And here at Soldier Field, under gray skies, Iowa wants to try to get something going before the half comes to an end. And so on the swing pass to Damon Bullock, he takes it for 7 yards.
James Vandenberg in this Iowa offense has 1 timeout remaining. Clock moving under a minute now for his head coach, Kirk Ferentz. Back in the shotgun, want to push the issue down the field.
Vandenberg is very accurate, and he dumps this one off once again to Bullock, and Bullock carries it out to the 44-yard line.
Nice awareness by James Vandenberg. The clock will stop when they set the chains, so it gives him plenty of time to call the play behind the line of scrimmage and get the Hawkeyes moving.
And you're not really worried about Vandenberg throwing a pick here, are you?
No, I'm not if I'm the head coach, because I trust my quarterback right here.
Vandenberg takes off, pump fakes, takes a hit. Iowa fans wanted a flag on the ball, Jefferson. In the 7 wins last year for Iowa, James Vandenberg threw 18 touchdowns against just 2 interceptions. In their 6 losses, he had a 7-to-5 ratio. And timeout used by the Hawkeyes. So far today, Vandenberg pretty close under center and out of the shotgun. In fact, dead on in yardage.
Yeah, dead on in yardage and pretty much completion percentage, because I thought coming into this game, even with opening up the offense for Iowa, we may see a little bit more shotgun, Tom, only because the pace, and he would be calling plays at his disposal, more pressure to call the plays on James Vandenberg than it would be in the booth for Greg Davis. But pretty much dead even now for head coach Kirk Ferentz, who would love to get some points in the last 23 seconds before halftime.
Greg Davis told us that this quarterback has a lot of autonomy. Very few times will they call a play and say run it. He has plenty of options. Should also be noted that a number of those passes have gone for short yardage, especially as of late. Iowa hasn't hit a deep ball yet.
NIU's done a nice job coverage down the field. So as a quarterback, you have to stay patient. You don't want to force the issue down the field into coverage.
2nd and 7, 23 seconds left. Timeouts remaining for the Hawkeyes, and slipping free is Keenan Davis down the sideline and shoved out of bounds. A huge play with 17 seconds left. And Deshaun Durant forced him out of bounds.
Every time NIU wants to bring pressure, Vandenberg has an answer for it. They bring the corner blitz from the short side of the field. Keenan Davis makes a player miss, and it's a big play for Iowa. It gets the football inside the 35-yard line. So that's twice James Vandenberg has beat the corner pressure, once with a run, now with a quick blitz adjustment on the outside.
And pardon me, the Hawkeyes are out of timeouts. With 17 seconds left, Vandenberg has to go to the air, pressured, and he dumps it incomplete. Smart play to get it past the line of scrimmage. Sean Progar brought the pressure. From here, it would be roughly a 51-yard field goal for Mike Meyer, whose long last year was 50. And here's a flag now coming in. It will be intentional grounding, it looks like.
And I don't agree with that, because it looked like C.J. Fedorowicz was coming across. That was going to be a throwback to the tight end with full sprint out to the right, and Vandenberg was going to throw back, but his tight end was 5 yards from the football when that was thrown.
This would certainly take him out of field goal range.
I think they're going to pick this up.
13 seconds left. They won't pick it up. And they just went to explain it to Kirk Ferentz, and a 10-second runoff will result.
Looks like the tight end is lined up on the right. He's going to come across, and the ball lands about 5 yards from where he was going to be. The tight end's right here on the edge of the line of scrimmage. He's going to come out and go across the formation. You can tell that was deliberately thrown there, but if he had an extra second, that could have been a touchdown.
13 seconds, and the clock will roll. Should be 3 with the 10-second runoff, and that's what the Northern Illinois coaches are pointing at. And the ref's mic doesn't work, so they're trying to communicate that to the officials. And now it does read 3 seconds remain, and so the only play is a Hail Mary after the runoff And so Northern Illinois has 7 guys within 10 yards and 4 inside the 20. Pressure coming. Vandenberg won't get a chance, and Northern Illinois comes up huge. Joe Windsor with the sack to end the half. Remember, Northern Illinois deferred. Iowa went on a drive to open the game, but they stood tall and only allowed a field goal.
Been impressed with the effort from NIU in this first half.
A couple of big plays today belong to the Huskies. The freshman Harris with his first career tote ends in a touchdown. Then this big play to more. That's the end of the first half. Let's send you back to the Sports Center U halftime report with Matt Schick and Kevin Carter.
Thank you, guys. We are in at halftime. Matt Schick, Kevin Carter. So much action. Coaches making debuts. Some good, some bad. Let's get right to it. Penn State and Bill O'Brien welcoming in Ohio, starting a new era for Penn State.
This is a very special group of players led by a very, very special senior class that has made a huge commitment to Penn State, to this university, to this athletic department, and to this football program. And everything that you scream for tomorrow, you're cheering for this team right here.
And there they come. Joe Paterno's widow, Sue Paterno, was in attendance for this game. Late in the first quarter, Matt McGloin finds Bill Belton for the score. And the Nittany Lions are up 7-0. Later, Naeem Wortman. He's in the box. He's out of the box. He's blocked the punt. Recovered by Jesse Della Valle at the Ohio 18. But Ohio's Tyler Tettleton gives Ohio the lead. They were down 14-3 in this one. He threw for 324 yards. Now they're up 17-14. 2 minutes left in the game. McGloin with the attempted pass. It's intercepted. Jelani Wosley. Ohio goes on to win 24-14, beating Penn State for the first time in their school's history. This would be Penn State's first home opening day loss since 2001. What a huge game for Tettleton.
Tettleton, no quit, no panic, keeps his poise, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns. Really impressed with his effort today.
And you think about where Ohio has come from. What a year. The football team won their first bowl game last year against Utah State. The basketball team advanced to the Sweet 16 before taking North Carolina down to the wire. And today, the football team walked into Beaver Stadium and beat Penn State for the first time ever. Bill O'Brien, after the game, talked about his first game as head coach.
You know, other than the fact that it was my first football game as a head coach, I didn't sense anything different about today. I thought it was a great atmosphere in the stands and in Beaver Stadium. And, you know, again, starts with me and coaching better and making sure we play better next time we play at home and next week against Virginia.
What do you make of how that game played out? A 14-3 halftime lead, 21 straight for Ohio.
Saw some good things out of Penn State, particularly early. Saw him spreading the ball around, very Bill O'Brien-esque on the offense, getting the ball to the tight ends, to the fullbacks out of the backfield. But late in the game, they just bogged down. Seemed to have no momentum whatsoever, and their defense just couldn't hold up. A few miscues in the kicking game, and ends up at a loss for Penn State.
Tough way to begin that era as they try to turn the page on the past. Well, another Big Ten coach making his debut with Ohio State. Urban renewal. Braxton Miller. Devin Smith. Catch of the year. Give it to him already. Don't need to see the rest of the games this year.
Come on. Come on. Nice snag. That's maybe good for week 1.
You know what? That's an awesome board nominee for the College Football Daily Show. Calling it right there. That was for 23 yards. Then Miller to Corey Brown. Buckeyes up 14-3. By the way, Miller Game-high 161 yards on the ground, the most in school history by a quarterback. Carlos Hyde rushes in from 4 yards out. He had a couple of touchdowns as well. 56 points for Urban Meyer's debut over Miami of Ohio. Huge day for Braxton Miller, both on the ground and through the air. Afterwards, Urban Meyer on the winning side.
Yeah, it was great. You know, the fourth quarter when we started playing in the Scarlet jerseys, it's all emotional, but I also realized how much, after watching that, we got a lot of work to do. We had a couple receivers step up and make some big-time catches. Two off the top of my head. I thought our tailback ran hard, and our quarterback's a freak. I mean, he's a freak. He can do things a lot of people can't do, so we just got to do better. We got to coach better, too.
The smart money's on Urban Meyer, and not only with turning around programs, but winning the first game. Now 4-0 in his debuts as head coach at a new school, winning by an average of just under 23 points. The 56 score and the 46-point margin of victory against Miami of Ohio, also Meyer's highs in a debut at a new school. A former Los Angeles County Assessor's Office employee says he gave cash and benefits thousands of dollars to USC football player Joe McKnight and basketball player Davon Jefferson in 2008 and 2009. Those actions could violate NCAA rules. The Los Angeles Times reports emails sent by Scott Shenter, a figure in an unrelated investigation, suggest he gave McKnight a car and plane ticket and Jefferson $3,700 in cash. The school, fresh off a 2-year postseason ban, says it did inform the NCAA of the claims. McKnight left USC in 2010, plays now for the New York Jets. Jefferson plays overseas. A 2009 USC investigation after McKnight drove a Range Rover registered to Shenter uncovered no violations. USC taking on Ohio tonight. Georgia taking on Buffalo today. How would the season open for Uga and the Dogs? They had a fight on their hands.
And as the clock ran down, I sank the jumper.
And took the big trophy home.
And Aunt Jane.
I guess I did all right. But look at them. Great old coaches, Hall of Famers.
And Dad ran in the Olympic trial.
Your cousin played in the Sweet 16. And how about the College World Series?
That was awesome. If only
You can. You both can. I'm already proud of you. Now, who gets these?
Me!
The Mid-American Conference. Generations of champions since 19...
What you doing here? Where's Eli? Getting a perm. I got this today. But you don't know how to... Please, how hard could it be?
You guys look like you'd rather watch a different game.
Yeah, but there's only one game on.
You're in luck because it's on. Only NFL Sunday Ticket gives you every game, every Sunday.
Prime.
Yeah?
Let me throw next time.
What's wrong with that?
A couple things. I mean, it's left-handed first off, and then just wasn't quite as accurate as I think I would throw it, so.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket now at the lowest price in almost a decade, only with DirecTV.
You're the most disrespectful person. And so are you.
Are you out of your mind?
When is it going to stop? Here we go. That's what I want. Do it.
You're going to bury this company.
You'll terminate it.
Dude, it's about time!
It's important to move on.
Yeah.
Underneath this is where it all started.
And now, we're going to rebuild it.
American Chopper. All new episodes starting Monday at 9/8 Central. Only on Discovery.
Keith Harris into the end zone for Northern Illinois. They've got the lead 10-6 on the Hawkeyes at Soldier Field at halftime. Bowling Green in Florida, a battle of former Urban Meyer stopping grounds, pit stops, whatever phrase you'd like to use. Jacoby Brissett, Jeff Driscoll both playing today. Driscoll with the throw, but Quentin Dunbar slips and the ball sails right past him. Florida would go 3 and out. Matt Schultz, 18 yards to Chris Gallen. And Bowling Green going right down the field here.
It really concerns me early in the season. This defense was a top 10 in the country last year. Got to have a better performance. Got to keep you in the game early on.
John Pettigrew finishes off the 12-play, 89-yard drive, up 7-0. And Mike Gillisley 15 yards into the end zone. Got to get that run game going.
Here's the play of this offensive line we heard about in the offseason. Them coming downhill, attacking the line of scrimmage.
And there he goes again. 38 yards, nearing 100 yards on the ground in the first half. That gives them the lead, and they lead right now 14-7 with a minute to go in the second quarter. Georgia, big win over Buffalo. That was nip and tuck at halftime, 45-23. West Virginia, their first game in the Big 12. They could have played anybody today and might have lit up the scoreboard with the way Geno Smith played, the Heisman hopeful. Showing hope for the Heisman, showing a touchdown to Stedman Bailey.
1,000-yard receiver from a Heisman Trophy candidate. This offense is one of the most explosive in the country.
And Smith has a cup of coffee, a club sandwich, throws to the right. J.D. Woods, touchdown, 34-10. The game is over. They decide to keep playing. Geno Smith, broken play, then he starts breaking some ankles. Gets into the end zone, 69 points. This comes after scoring 70 in that Orange Bowl. Wisconsin, Danny O'Brien, the Maryland transfer. He's got a touchdown on the board, taking on Northern Iowa. That's to Jared Abbrederis. 10 yards for the score. They are up on Northern Iowa. Southern Miss visiting Lincoln. Big Red Country. And Rex Burkhead, the bobble, but then he holds on to it tight and sprints to the end zone. 57 yards for the touchdown, bringing Rexy back. 7-0, Nebraska career-long touchdown. And Southern Miss quarterback Chris Campbell, though, 25 yards to Dominique Sullivan. Keeps his balance and gets into the end zone.
Southern Miss has a history of being a giant killer. Can't quite call Nebraska a giant these days, though.
Tied at 14, then Taylor Martinez. Play action rolls out. It's Taylor Martinez 2.0. Touchdown to Jake Long. It's 28-17 in the second. Rex Burkhead did leave the game with a knee sprain. He is done for the day. Northern Illinois just getting going, up 10-6 at half.
Look at guys. You're thinking bigger.
Yeah, this is a lot to remember. Do you see there's 32 bullet points?
You don't need notes. Try listening to some music, man. Oh, that's the jam right there.
Yeah.
You the man.
Oh. I'm the man. I'm the man.
You're the man for the job.
Told you. Thank you. Now let's see if you're the man on the course.
With Select and Go from Avis, it's easy to get the right space to get pumped up and wind down. Avis, it's your space.
Introducing Tropical Island Grill only at Golden Corral. This is island cooking at its best. It's breaded Cozumel Island shrimp, Fiji lemon pepper tilapia, and much more. It's all part of our endless dinner buffet, still for one low price, and it's only at Golden Corral.
A nasty D-line and bruising backfield has Les Miles' Bayou Bengals near the top of the polls as the defending SEC champs open the season against North Texas. North Texas LSU, tonight at 7 on ESPNU.
So I feel like everybody here is here for the students. This was just so welcoming and so comforting that I felt like this was where I was supposed to be.
Rather than trying to be an instructor, I try to be a guide to help them improve their understanding of what they're learning.
You can find everyone here at NIU, and it's a great model of what the real world is.
The student, the learner, is the center of our universe.
College Football Daily. We referenced it earlier. You can see it later, as in Monday. 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Just keep it on the U. Then later that night or that morning, however you perceive it, Monday through Friday at midnight, it is Unite. The Fighting Irish Faithful uniting overseas, taking on Navy in Ireland, the Emerald Isle Classic. We could not make it. Everett Golson, the handoff to George Atkinson, the third, 56 yards, filling in for Sierra Wood admirably.
Impressive run, nice vision, nice lay down of the ball, too.
You got to be gentle with the football. Yeah, Notre Dame goes up 13-0. The Navy quarterback Trey Miller loses the ball. Stephon Tuitt has the ball.
Will the skill position guy catch him? No, he won't.
Wow.
Fumbling, rumbling, stumbling. He's going to the end zone. 300 pounds on that guy.
Later, Robbie Toma, 9 yards. Ooh, little cutback for the touchdown. The Irish would push their lead to 40 and win by 40, 50-10. Golson, serviceable in the job, 144 yards passing, a touchdown, and an interception. Northwestern and Syracuse. Northwestern had a 22-point lead in this game. Doug Marone's Orange come back. Ryan Nassib to Jeremiah Kobina, 50 yards for the touchdown. Nassib passes the school record for completion. Syracuse within 8. Under 7 minutes left. Nassib to Kobina again, 7 yards for the touchdown. They're down 35-33. They keep coming back. 28 straight points. Chris Clark for the touchdown. They'd go for 2 and convert, 41-35. But Trevor Siemian on for a banged-up Kane Coulter. Demetrius Fields in the back corner of the end zone for the touchdown. 12,000 yards of offense in this one. Northwestern, they blew a couple of halftime leads last year. Come back to win this one after giving up a huge lead in the second half. Pat Fitzgerald and the Wildcats get it done, 42-41 in upstate New York. In Chicago, it is Alan Baxter with the sack of James Vandenberg, and they lead 10-6 over Iowa.
We have a certain way of doing things. You'll see it in the determination of our students, in the classroom and on our fields, in the collaboration among our faculty that lead to great innovation and change, in the vision of our writers, artists, and doctors, bringing the world to Iowa and Iowa to the world. It's the Hawkeye way.
Reasons to follow in others' footsteps? 0. Things weighing on your mind when running? 0. Reasons to buy an Ultra shoe? 0. Drop. 0 Drop places your heel and forefoot the same distance from the ground for natural posture, more power, and better running technique. Stress caused from squeezed toes? 0. Ultra's foot-shaped toe box lets your toes relax, creating a natural platform for more stability, maximum comfort, and improved performance. Connection lost between foot and ground? 0. Ultra gives you a responsive ride, plus full A-bound cushioning underfoot. Number of other companies that combine 0 Drop, foot shape, and full cushioning in a single shoe? 0. Introducing Ultra. Visit ultrazerodrop.com now for free shipping. Wear them for 30 days. If you don't run better, send them back. 0 questions asked. Ultra. 0 Drop, 0 limits.
You saw it earlier today on ESPNU. Some close games between Western Michigan and the Illini, but not today. Nathan Scheelhaus to Ryan Lankford to the house.
Right down the hash, no one within 10 yards. Nice throw to nice catch.
64 yards, second quarter. Scheelhaus, little pump fake. He was never throwing it.
Way to lower the shoulder and get in there, Scheelhaus.
4 yards for the score. Scheelhaus, though, getting his left ankle retaped and would not re-enter the game. Shante Williams, he's in the game, and he's making a big play, intercepting Alex Carter.
What a nice break on the ball there. Read the quarterback perfectly and took it the distance.
And that sealed it with 9 minutes to go. That made it 24-7. And that would be your final. And Purdue at the half. There is hope with Purdue, 34-6. Robert Marr with 190 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Joe Windsor with the sack on James Vandenberg. Northern Illinois with a 4-point edge in Soldier Field.
To win
the Capital One Cup and be the best in men's and women's college sports, you gotta lay it all on the line. Every play, every game, in every sport. Teams are battling it out for NCAA Division I championships, $400,000 in student-athlete scholarships, and the Capital One Cup trophy. More metal for the case. Like Capital One Cup on Facebook to follow your school in the race to become the best in college sports and earn bragging rights all year long.
Road trip, buddy. Let's put some music on.
Welcome to Learning Spanish in the Car.
You gotta be kidding me. This is good.
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Gracias.
Gracias.
13 horas en el carro sin parar y no traes música. Mira, entra y cómprame unas papitas.
Get up to 795 miles per tank in the 2013 Passat TDI Clean Diesel. That's the power of German engineering. See your local dealer for special lease and finance rates during the Autobahn for All event.
The Mid-American Conference. We come from many places. We're as different as the games that we champion. But behind every great play, beneath every uniform, lies something even greater. Because the real goal is building better people. The Mid-American Conference. Sportsmanship for life since 1946.
Welcome back to the All-State Game of the Week from Soldier Field in Chicago, Northern Illinois. Doing a fantastic job through the first half, leading Iowa by a score of 10-6. Tom Hart alongside John Kinjemi. The Iowa offense has looked good at times, not so good at others. What do you make of it?
5 drives, 41 plays, over 160 yards of offense, and they have 6 points to show for it. I think that the Iowa offense needs to get better as they get closer to the goal line. It seems like Northern Illinois has an answer on defense inside the red zone, but between the 20s, both teams have been able to move the football effectively. Iowa needs to punch it in first in the second half.
We'll see if Damon Bullock returns to running back for the Hawkeyes as we take a look at the first half stats. 78 yards on the ground for Northern Illinois. Most of those belong to their quarterback.
Northern Illinois has been able to do a nice job converting on third down. I thought that would be a problem for them coming into this football game with the first-time quarterback Jordan Lynch replacing Chandler Harnish, but it hasn't been a problem. It's been an asset because he's been able to make good decisions from the quarterback position, both throwing the football and running the football. I've been totally impressed by his athleticism.
Remember, Northern Illinois won the coin toss, but elected to defer, so they started on defense, and Lynch had to wait a moment or two before he got out there, and Iowa opened with a scoring drive. Though they were turned back in the red zone, they ended up with a field goal. So the Huskies, after this kick by Mike Meyer, will get the ball back. New rule in effect this year, kicking off from the 35, touchbacks come out to the 25. And a low line drive handled at the shoelaces by Tommy Lee Lewis. Lewis takes it out to the 28-yard line. Stopped by Marcus Collins.
Well, Jordan Lynch has done an excellent job rushing the football in the first half. 9 carries for 45 yards. He had a long of 11, but it's been able to move the chains on third down. His toughness going inside the tackles, doing a nice job of carrying Iowa defenders with him. I think he's shown leadership. He's shown tremendous competitiveness in between. He's thrown the football accurately. He's done it all for Northern Iowa in the first half.
Keith Harris Jr., the freshman in the game, he has a touchdown, and on the zone read, a swallow job by big number 99, Joe Gaglione. The senior from Novelty, Ohio, starts the second half, and he takes care of Jordan Lynch. What did Iowa do right and wrong playing the zone read in the first half?
They got to the quarterback probably 50% of the time, but you have to be there earlier to make him make a decision. That didn't happen in the first half.
And here's an option pitch to freshman Harris. And Harris took a big lick at the end from linebacker Anthony Hitchens.
It looks like BJ, sorry Tom, looks like BJ Lowry down on the field holding that left shoulder, that left side.
Lowry, this junior from Cincinnati, according to Kirk Ferentz, was good enough to start last year. He just had too much talent in front of him. Here's the end.
Looked like his own player may have landed on him. It wasn't on the hit. It was actually as he rolled over. It looked like one of the big bodies wearing a white shirt landed on that left side.
Watch coming from the middle. 19's on the bottom of your screen. He eludes the block. A nice job getting away from Daniels. But right here, he's going to make the tackle, and then one of his own bodies, Carl Davis, the defensive tackle, comes in and rolls on his own player. And it looked like he's really hurting on that left side. That's going to hurt any time that Carl Davis wants to roll on you. He's 310 pounds, and he goes at 6'5", so you see 71 coming your way. Even though he's got a friendly jersey on, you might want to get out of the way.
Lowry was injured during preseason practice last year, didn't play in the first 5 games of the season.
I like the way Iowa's been attacking the quarterback, Jordan Lynch, on the first 2 plays, making him make a decision a lot earlier than he was in the first half, and that's really giving time to the other white jerseys. As we see Lowry coming off the field, that's going to make his head coach Kirk Ferentz happy to see him off the field walking under his own power.
He's replaced by Greg Castillo, senior from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, whose dad is a coach with the Philadelphia Eagles.
After the 4-yard gain, Huskies have a third down.
Tom, this is where Northern Illinois, you see the conversions, 4 of 7 in the first half. They spread you out, and they make the decision on Jordan Lynch, either to run the football in the quarterback draw or to distribute the football quickly.
Lynch pressure and lost the football, covered by Iowa. Gaglione with the pressure knocked it loose, and Carl Davis was able to pounce on the football.
This time Carl Davis finds the football instead of one of his own teammates to jump on, and that makes the sideline wearing white happy, because those were the best 3 defensive plays in a row that Iowa has had in this football game. Great pressure from Gaglione on the outside. He gets the forced fumble, and there's the big man, Carl Davis, all 310 pounds, sets up his offense in the red zone inside the 15-yard line. Great effort on the outside by Gaglione.
First turnover in this game for either side, and Vandenberg will come under center out of the eye with the fullback Weissman in front of Bullock. Bullock was a workhorse early for Iowa. Then they went away from him late. Nadal Jefferson with the stop. He had 15 carries in the first quarter and 4 minutes. Did not touch the ball over the final 11 minutes of the first half. Instead, they went to the freshman Greg Garman.
And that was amazing, too, because it looked like Damon had a little bit of rhythm going in this football game in that first quarter.
Hamilton, the tight end, in motion. Here's Bullock again. Cuts back and then goes forward to the 10. Victor Jock, the 5th-year senior from Miami, with the tackle.
The big question here is, can Iowa break the trend? They've not been able to score touchdowns when they've been inside of the red zone. Now with the ball at the 10-yard line, head coach Kirk Ferentz needs to make a decision, putting pressure on his quarterback, James Vandenberg. Is he under center? Are they going to spread it out and get him in shotgun where he can make a decision a little bit quicker than he can under center?
3rd and 6. They pressured Vandenberg to end the first half. To throw. Inside and to the 6 goes Cavante Martin-Manley. Needed to get to the 4 for a first down. Jimmy Ward with the coverage over the middle.
And it looks like he's about a yard short. Big decision on the Iowa sidelines. The offense isn't moving, and neither is the Huskies defense. This is going to be a battle in the trenches at the line of scrimmage. And Northern Illinois has done a nice job of winning most of those battles up front. Big test for this offensive line, and James Ferentz, he's the leader at center. Can he get some movement?
They go big, 2 tight ends, and the fullback Weissman again. Misdirection, Weissman, the fullback gets it. And he gets the first down. Mark Weissman started his football career at the Air Force Academy, where they know a little something about the option and the fullback dive.
Brandon Sheriff on that left side, a tight end moving the pile. That's just a good individual effort by a running back that wanted it a little bit more. First point of contact, he wasn't going to get it, but Weissman does a nice job of moving the pile.
So 1st and goal for Iowa at the 4-yard line. Vandenberg rolls, throws through the hands Too much juice on that one?
You know, if James were to watch that play tomorrow, he's probably going to say, you know what, Coach, that's on me because it was too easy of a throw just not to put it on the frame. He anticipated well, he got the ball out on time, but you want to put it in the frame of your wide receiver, not make him work so hard for that.
2nd and goal for the Hawkeyes, who have settled for a pair of field goals after plus field position throughout the entire first half. Hamilton, the tight end, moves. Bullock undercut at the line of scrimmage by Tyrell Clark, the senior from St. Louis, Missouri.
Great job of closing down the back end by Northern Illinois. This front 7 is fast and they're tough. It's tough to move them off the point of attack. They've done a great job, even though they're a little bit undersized. They move very well, and that front 7 is fast and ferocious. Right now, they have to come up big on 3rd and goal. You look for play action here if you're Northern Illinois.
Bullock is the tailback. Vandenberg straight drop. Time. A bullet over the middle, knocked away. Martin Manley was the intended receiver, and that will bring up 4th and goal on a ball tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Great job by Northern Illinois getting their hands up. Not a whole lot of throwing room inside. Straight back drop by Vandenberg. He has a receiver there, but he didn't let the defensive lineman clear. That window was cluttered right in the middle by Nabal Jefferson. He was just running a stunt trying to get to the outside, and it looked like James hit him right in the hip.
Almost put it in Jefferson's pocket. Now Mike Meyer back out for his 3rd field goal of the day, a 22-yard attempt. He is 2 for 3 on the afternoon. And this chip shot is good. Iowa has had 6 possessions, 5 times in plus territory, yet they've managed only 3 field goals.
More credit goes to this Northern Illinois defense because they've been doing a great job keeping Iowa out of the end zone, taking care of advantages on the offensive side. They still lead by 1.
ESPNU College Football All-State Game of the Week, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's.
Division I student athletes have higher SAT and ACT scores than college-bound students.
The number of us receiving diplomas is at an all-time high.
African-American males who are student athletes
are 10% more likely to graduate.
Still think we're just a bunch of dumb jocks?
You need to do your homework.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Wow! Your generator's really quiet!
Yeah, it's a Honda EU 2000. Super quiet, fuel efficient, and lightweight.
Yeah, my generator's really loud!
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Oh, yeah! She wants me! Maybe not!
Honda EU Series portable generators. Lightweight, fuel efficient, and...
What was that all about?
Very quiet.
And they have these big red noses, and they're named things like Bobo and Crispy.
Okay, now let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How do I find the right tire to help me find balance between comfort, economy, and performance?
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 mail-in rebate when you buy a set of 4 select Kumho tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
A nasty D-line and bruising backfield has Les Miles' Bayou Bengals near the top of the polls as the defending SEC champs open the season against North Texas. North Texas LSU, tonight at 7 on ESPNU.
This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
Hawkeyes have hit the ground running, but they've run into a wall inside the red zone. 10-9 Northern Illinois lead. 5 minutes into the third quarter from beautiful Soldier Field. Great site for college football here in Chicago. It's a home game for Northern Illinois. They won't be back here for at least the next 2 seasons, but are looking to bring another Big Ten team in the next 3 years. They can treat it like a home game, and that means they can bring recruits here at any time to come visit what is a home field for Northern Illinois, Soldier Field, which is very unique.
Very unique. This is the first time I've been able to come to Soldier Field, and when we were getting to the stadium, just the atmosphere around here was just incredible. And for a college football game, a lot of different colors in the seats, but a great atmosphere for a Saturday afternoon.
Years to come, they want another perhaps Big Ten team in, maybe Purdue, maybe Nebraska, perhaps Illinois, if they could convince the Illini to come up here. Mike Meyer puts it in the air. And Tommy Lee Lewis thought about it. Held up by Perez Ashford. Now let's head back to the studio for an update with Matt Schick and Kevin Carter.
Time for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Braxton Miller, quarterback for Ohio State. 207 passing yards with 2 touchdowns. 161 on the ground as well. 368 combined yards for Braxton Miller. Monte Ball, 39 touchdowns last year. Now he's got 1 this year. Wisconsin up on Northern Iowa, 19-0. All
right, thanks, Matt. Running game alive and well here at Soldier Field as well. And Jordan Lynch keeps it. Maybe gets 2. James Morris with the stop from his middle linebacker spot. We talked about the fact that Jordan Lynch taking over behind quarterback for Chandler Harnish, who's a MAC MVP last year and a 4-year starter who set 20 school records. He was the winningest quarterback in the school's FBS history. You can't just flip the switch and replace it. I mean, it's like replacing Dan Marino.
It is.
Can't happen that easily, can it?
It's tough. Somebody has to do it, though.
Leighton Settle with the carry. And that brings up 3rd down. So you did the same thing at Pitt following Dan Marino. What's the toughest thing to following a legend like that?
You know what? Just trying to run the offense that you have and not try to be the other person. You have qualities that you bring to the table, and you have to be able to fit that into the offense. And I think that Jordan Lynch has done that. He knows he can run the football. He knows he can make good decisions. And when you spread Iowa out like they're doing on 3rd and long, you always have to respect the run of the quarterback.
5 wide. Here goes Lynch with that run, and he's got a 1st down and more to midfield. And Jordan Lynch with the biggest gain of the day. Jordan Lynch takes it all the way. 73-yard sprint for the first-year starter.
How's that for replacing Chandler Harnish? 73 yards. Jordan Lynch, they do it by play design. Mike Dunbar spreads everybody out, and now it's all up to the quarterback. Once he breaks that first line of defense, it's all about making somebody miss in speed, and can he outrun all the white jerseys? The answer is yes, he can.
The longest rush Iowa allowed all of last season went for 37 yards. That's a quick hitter for Jordan Lynch. And we're not quite midway through the 3rd quarter, but Northern Illinois has Iowa on the ropes. Chandler who?
That's right. Just a great job. See how everybody is spread out on the perimeter, and now you have to make one man miss. Here he is right here. If you can make the free safety miss right about the 40-yard line, now you just have to outrun the white jerseys. That's a great job by play design by Mike Dunbar, the offensive coordinator. He spreads everybody out. He lets his best athlete on the field, Jordan Lynch, beat somebody in the secondary, and now you just hope he can get to the end zone.
And that's what we were talking about in the first half with pressure on your safeties.
Big time pressure on the safeties when you spread out, just like Northern Illinois is doing on offense. You get big play opportunities. 13 rushes for 111 yards in that big 73-yard run for 6 points. You put huge pressure because everybody's in space, Tom, and when one man misses, the only thing stopping him next is the goalpost, and that's almost what the quarterback Jordan Lynch hit his head on when he made that turn and celebrated.
Not the start that the Hawkeye fans were looking for. Garmin and Davis, and this will be Greg Garmin. Garmin sliced down at the 23-yard line. Courtney Stephen with the nice special teams tackle. Credit to the offensive line.
Yeah, Aiden Conlon, he does a great job pulling around number 61. He's right here. He's going to come around and go from the left side of the line of scrimmage to the right side, and watch the block on Joe Gaglione right at the point of attack. That eliminates the defensive end. It gives a running lane for the quarterback, and it gives him great vision to get to the second level.
I cringe every time I hear someone say that an option team can't be a quick hitting offensive team. Keenan Davis with the completion on the edge picks up 2. Because option teams, whether you're Navy, Georgia Tech, Air Force, or a spread option like this at Northern Illinois, can get advantages and score on you just as quick as a team that's trying to spread the field with the pass.
Tom, for me, it's all about numbers. When you can get the formation to put people out of the box, just like Northern Illinois did offensively. They had wide receivers spread out. So now you have 5 people within that 7-yard box. If you get a hat on a hat and you get the quarterback who's unaccounted for because the free safety who's responsible for him is 25 yards away from him, you got an athlete that with the football like Jordan Lynch. If he makes one person miss, he's going to get a big play 9 times out of 10.
Rashad Melvin, the injured Huskies wide receiver, senior from just up the road in Waukegan, Illinois, will get back to the sideline under his own power. We talked to Mike Dunbar about Jordan Lynch. Said he's really good, but we're going to find out on Saturday what he can do on 3rd down when everybody's watching. Back to the running game for Iowa. The ball popped out at the end of the run as Damon Bullock carried it to the sideline. Victor Jock credited with a tackle.
Tom, this is a huge set of downs for Iowa. How can they respond when it seemed like everything they were doing offensively, they're getting the yards, they're running the plays that Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, would like. Kurt Ferentz likes the tempo of the offense, but can they score touchdowns? They've been stopped time and time again, multiple times inside the 20-yard line where they've had to settle for field goals. Now they have to get over a big play by Northern Illinois' offense, and can they respond by staying on the field on 3rd down?
3rd and 3 for Vandenberg. Pressured, steps up, and he takes a pop at the end of that run. Near the 1st down marker is Tyrone Clark, who came up and pulled a lick on James Vandenberg. Clark 2 years ago was the defensive MVP of this team. He was suspended for all of last season, so he used that energy on the scout team, where every week he was the scout team player of the week, and that included running quarterback as Army's option QB before they played Army.
You think Tyrone wanted to get back on the football field?
Last time he was on the field before today, he had 12 tackles in the Humanitarian Bowl. Vandenberg lets it go. Diving grab. Great hands by Keenan Davis.
Good effort on the outside by Davis. He goes out and gets the football on 1st down. Good spot by Vandenberg. They need a big play. They need something to energize their sideline right now, because Northern Illinois' defense is bending, but they're not breaking. They're going to make you earn it each and every play.
I don't know if James Vandenberg has looked deep more than once in this game. 16 completions for 105 yards through the air. Bullock short of the 1st down. They need to get to the 43-yard line for a 1st down.
And the one thing I really do like that Northern Illinois is doing up front, they're rotating 6, 7, 8 guys. Fresh 4 just went in on 3rd and short, so they're trying to keep those guys fresh up front, because they know Iowa, with that big offensive line, they can move people from the point of attack. They've done it in between the 20s, but this defense for Jay Neiman has found a way to keep Iowa out of the end zone.
They need to get to the 43 for a 1st down. This is more like a 3rd and 1. and to the fullback Weissman, and he moves the pile. That will be an Iowa first down as he carries it nearly to midfield. Tripped up just short.
Good surge by this offensive line and a good head just north and south. Moving the pile by himself is Mark Weissman. Does a nice job of keeping those legs going, and now's the perfect time. If you want to take a shot, you're just around the 50-yard line. You've possessed the ball. You've moved the football down the field by running it. Offensive coordinator Greg Davis, he installed this high-tempo offense for a reason. Now it's time maybe to take that shot.
Vandenberg moves under center with one back. Wants to throw. And incomplete. Flag from way back. Bullock was the running back out of the backfield, and Tyrone Clark had the coverage. That was a 25-yard flag toss.
That flag came from the North Shore somewhere, it felt like.
Pass interference, defense number 36. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Good to hear from Dave Whitfield finally.
But you'll take that play and that penalty if you're Dave Doran, the head coach, because it's an aggressive play. It's only going to cost you 5 yards, and I'm not so sure that was a catchable football that was thrown. Good aggressiveness. I love the way Northern Illinois, they're fast. They're not real big up front, but they can move with any offensive play that Iowa's put out there.
Vandenberg play action. Slipped a little bit. Now he's swallowed up. Victor Jock found him. When Vandenberg put his plant foot down to step up in the pocket, it gave way just a little bit. That may have been enough. It's the 4th sack of the game for Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois has been able to turn up the heat, and they've stopped bringing the pressure from the outside. They're starting to bring it from the inside now, and Victor Jock did a nice job of eluding the blocking of the running back and getting to the quarterback, James Vandenberg. That's nice pressure up the middle.
2nd and 17. They need to get to the 39-yard line for a first down. And off the hands of C.J. Fedorowicz. Wouldn't have done much anyway. Would have set up a 3rd and long. Is that okay? Is that an okay place to go if you're Vandenberg in that situation?
Well, I think it was the only place to go, Tom, because Northern Illinois, the back end, the defensive backs had everybody covered down the football field. So if you're the quarterback, James Vandenberg, you're just trying to make a positive play to get yourself in a better 3rd down situation than you're in now at 3rd and 17.
Vandenberg averaged 232 pass yards a game last year. He's at 105 today. Pressured again, sacked again. Northern Illinois' Joe Windsor found him. 5th sack of the game for the Huskies.
NIU just keeps rolling out these pass rushers. They're exchanging 5, 6, 7 people up at the line of scrimmage. This time it's Windsor coming from the outside, a stun inside, and Windsor just says, hello, Mr. Vandenberg. Great job of pressuring the quarterback. Another positive play for this defense.
4th and 27. Connor Kornbrath, the punter for the Hawkeyes. Perez Ashford called for a fair catch. Now he wanted to take off with it. He gave a wave of that right hand and then took off after he caught it. Down at the 29-yard line after a 37-yard punt.
There's a good look at that defense doing a great job of staying fresh, and it's not just 2, 3, 4 people. It's been probably 14, 15 guys that have been in and out of this football game, especially this front 7, doing a great job.
17-9, Northern Illinois with the lead on Iowa. The pressure has been relentless from the Huskies.
We asked over 3,000 doctors to review 5-Hour Energy, and what they said is amazing. Over 73% who reviewed 5-Hour Energy said they would recommend a low-calorie energy supplement to their healthy patients who use energy supplements. 73%. 5-Hour Energy has 4 calories and is used over 9 million times a week. Is 5-Hour Energy right for you? Ask your doctor. We already asked 3,000.
What it feels like when you send her money for textbooks. What it feels like when you send her the $10,000 you just won from Western Union. Be automatically entered for a weekly chance to win $10,000 when you send a qualifying money transfer within the U.S. No purchase necessary. And right now, save 50% on your next qualifying money transfer. Text the word on your screen to 40444 for your promotional code. Western Union, moving money for better.
The fantasy football draft is the most important day of the year, and everybody plays their part. 24-hour buffet brings the food, including nuclear wings that'll make your heart leak. Delay of pain runs the draft clock. Take more than 2 minutes and things get nasty. And then there's you to Ham, who just does that after every pick.
What? That's kind of my thing.
Sign up for fantasy football on ESPN.com, brought to you by Geico.
Well, originally Grant Park Municipal Stadium, Soldier Field, built in 1924, used to be a historical landmark. They dropped a spaceship on top of it. Red Grange, Bronco Nagurski, Dick Butkus, some Big Ten alums doing damage early. And then the legend, Sweetness, Walter Payton, and the 1985 Super Bowl champs with Jim McMahon and Mike Ditka. And a Florida kid, Devin Hester, ran out of the muck and has run all over the turf here at Soldier Field. And Northern Illinois uses it as a home field. Last year they came in against Wisconsin and they got blasted. And Dave Dorn told us that our kids were in awe in that game, not necessarily or not just facing a Rose Bowl caliber opponent, but looking around. The size, the specter, the colors. We spent a lot of time looking that game. Here they spent a lot of time running. And Leighton Settle, or pardon me, Luke Ekus has it bounce off of his hands. Throwing on first down are the Huskies. There's been no intimidation factor for Northern Illinois, which has won 2 out of their last 3 games against Big Ten opponents. At Minnesota a couple of years ago under Jerry Kill, and the year before that at Purdue.
No fear in their offense and the way they're calling the plays either, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
And Lynch with the carry on 2nd and 10. Gain of 9.
Tom, I just love the tempo that they play with. It's an aggressive style on offense, and your offensive linemen have to be in shape. They have to be athletic, but you really have to be organized as an offense, and that's a great credit to offensive coordinator Mike Dunbar, the way he's been able to install this offense in this game plan against Iowa through 2.5 quarters.
And by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet. This is a brand new Northern Illinois offensive line. They came into this game with 0 starts among the front 5. Lynch keeps his legs turning, feet moving, and he picks up a first down after dancing behind those 5. Micah Hyde with the tackle.
They came into this game wide-eyed, and really it's been a combination of a lot of guys. You see Tyler Pitt in the ball game at right guard. He was starting from Matt Killen and Krempel up front, and Conlon and Luce and Ness, and they're opening up huge holes for their quarterback, who's had 14 carries for 125, or 15 carries for 125.
And now he wants to throw. Lynch has 2 men deep, and he gets blasted from the blind side by Dominic Alvis.
That's a big shot, and that one hurt. It looked like from behind the blind side. You're ready to throw that football. There has to be a clock in your head at some point when you hitch up once, twice. That ball has to be gone because somebody in a white jersey in an angry mood is coming at you. So you have to get rid of that football or tuck the football away and run it.
2nd and 16 for the Huskies. And that snap skips right past Lynch. He will fall on it at the 14-yard line. Andrew Ness, the center, starting in place of Logan Pegram, who broke his leg in camp, and that bullet goes the wrong way for 23 yards.
We have 2 negative plays. You get the sack of Lynch on the play before by Alvis, and now you get the snap that goes through the hands of the quarterback, minus 24 yards on the play. So now you're going backwards towards your own goal line. You have 3rd and forever, and that's 2 big plays and 2 big breaks. Let's see if Iowa can take advantage of not only on 3rd down, but flipping the field for field position.
Last 2 plays have gone 30 yards the wrong way for the Huskies. Can Iowa's defense get them back in this one at Soldier Field? Straight give to Settle. And they're going to set up the punt team. But you know what? Field position hasn't mattered to Iowa today.
No, because they've been so strong that, you know, between the 20s, it didn't matter where they got the football. The problem has been for Iowa's offense of settling for field goals or field goal opportunities instead of touchdowns.
Iowa has had 7 possessions 6 times in plus territory, and they've managed, as you mentioned, just 3 field goals. Neer will punt it away. Hyde set to return. That is a beauty of a punt from Ryan Neer. Hyde going backwards with a fair catch. Fantastic foot for the senior from Roscoe, Illinois. 49 yards on the kick for Ryan Neer.
ESPNU. Live the passion of college sports all the time.
To the end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Featuring conference rivalries.
There is electricity in the air. Oh, my goodness. Wow. And the throwdown.
With in-depth studio and game coverage all year long.
Beasley. Touchdown, USC. Hammered into deep center field, and the Gamecocks will win.
ESPNU. Never graduate.
You're the most disrespectful person. And so are you. Are you out of your mind? When is it going to stop? Here we go. That's what I want. Do it. You're going to bury this company.
You'll terminate. Good, it's about time.
It's important to move on.
Yeah.
Underneath this is where it all started.
And now, we're going to rebuild it.
American Chopper. All new episodes starting Monday at 9/8 Central. Only on Discovery.
People really love Snapshot from Progressive. But don't just listen to me. Listen to these happy Progressive customers.
I plugged in Snapshot, and 30 days later, I was saving big on car insurance.
With Snapshot, I knew what I could save before I switched to Progressive.
The better I drive, the more I save.
I wish our company had something this cool. You're not filming this, are you?
Aw, camera shy. Snapshot from Progressive.
Test drive Snapshot before you switch. Visit Progressive.com today.
Magic here with a studio update. 23rd ranked Florida in a fight with Bowling Green. Anton Samuel around the left side gets into the end zone, tied at 14 with 8:41 to go in the 3rd.
Wow, indeed. You know, last year, Utah State nearly beat Auburn on the opening weekend of college football season. That would probably rival it, with the MAC trying to get a win in the swamp. Northwestern pulled it out.
Unbelievable last minute of the football game. Big play by Northwestern.
Ohio State behind Braxton Miller. Big win against Miami. Georgia took care of Buffalo and Athens. The upset of the day, the game of the day for a lot of folks, was to see how Frank Solich and the Bobcats would do against Bill O'Brien and Penn State.
Yeah, and Tyler Tettleton, quarterback for Ohio, does a great job last year and builds on it this year with a huge victory on the road.
And what was described as a surreal scene in Beaver Stadium today. Vandenberg play action. First deep ball, and it is batted away. Fantastic play by Jimmy Ward coming over from his safety spot to help on Keenan Davis. That's the longest pass attempt of the game for Vandenberg.
It's nice to see James Vandenberg and offensive coordinator Greg Davis go off of play action and try to get something down the field. I think if this ball's thrown earlier and out in front of Davis, he may have a chance, because Jimmy Ward came from underneath the play to get a hand on it. That was a nice shot taken down the field. You need a big play. You're only down a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and it's still enough time on the clock, plenty of time to go back to what you've done successfully.
Blitz comes from the edge. Vandenberg incomplete. Greg Davis developed offenses around drop-back quarterbacks at Texas, guys like Major Applewhite and Chris Sims. Also, as we mentioned earlier, went to the zone read with Vince Young, and also at Colt McCoy, where they spread everybody out. So wide variety of execution.
And I think he's taken bits and pieces of what he's done in the past and what Ken O'Keefe had, the former offensive coordinator for Iowa, and blended it in to an offense that can spread you out, that can up-tempo you and go no huddle. So far, they just haven't equal points on the scoreboard.
5 of 12 on third down. Here comes another blitz. Vandenberg. They got a hand on him. Now they get bodies on him. And he may have made it back to the line of scrimmage, but Tyrone Clark wants to bring again. Brings down Vandenberg along with Alan Baxter. So that might not go as a sack, but it's another blitz pickup for Northern Illinois defensively to find the quarterback.
Tom, the one thing I've noticed, Iowa has been deficient on first and second down. They're in passing situations now, 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. They were running the football earlier in the first half, setting up 3rd or 2nd and mediums. Now the Huskies are just pinning their ears back on 3rd down, and the Iowa offensive line has not been able to keep them off their quarterback.
Connor Kornbrath. And Ashford, again, fair catch at the 28-yard line. Is that a sign of Iowa's, the lack of their run game here in the second half?
Well, I think they're trying to push the issue a little bit more, throwing the football on 1st and 2nd down, and they've been unsuccessful the last couple of times out.
Check out the new late night show Unite. Get all the latest news and sports with a comedic and social twist and a live in-studio DJ soundtrack. It's the perfect nightcap for your sports day. Unite, ESPN's first late night entertainment show. Monday at midnight on ESPNU. And you love it because they got a quarterback in the room.
Oh, absolutely. Danny Cannell's doing a great job. I just don't know how he's staying up that late. I got to ask him.
I'm sure he's mixing in some naps.
That's true.
Here's Settle. Christian Kirksey with the stop. And that will bring an end to the 3rd quarter. Well, the action usually happens on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, but it's been red hot here on this Saturday from Soldier Field. Thanks to Jordan Lynch making his first career start. He has run all over the Hawkeyes and will try to keep it going as we head to the 4th quarter in Chicago.
North Texas LSU tonight at 7 on ESPNU.
At Papa John's, coming up with unique tasting creations, now that's our specialty. Nobody does what Papa John's does.
It's Papa John's Buffalo Chicken Pizza. Get a large for only $10. Featuring all white chicken with creamy ranch and spicy buffalo sauce. Try one today, only $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza, even specialties. Plus, earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards when you enroll and order at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports NCAA Football 13 is here. Now you can get it free. That's right. Through this special offer from EA Sports and Sports Illustrated, you can get EA Sports NCAA Football 13. Yours free with your paid order of Sports Illustrated. Call or go online now to siorder.com. You'll get EA Sports NCAA Football 13 free with your paid order. And there's a bonus DVD, College Football's Greatest Players, presented by EA Sports NCAA Football 13. Go one-on-one with some of the greatest players in college football history. This package, yours free, is available only with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. These items at retail would cost over $200. But through this amazing offer, just $49.95 gets you all this. 28 issues of Sports Illustrated, EA Sports NCAA Football 13, and the bonus DVD. Don't miss out. Go online to siorder.com or call now.
You see heroes every day.
I was a unit supply
specialist. I was a captain in the United States Army.
People that really have this commitment to serving others.
These are people who can get the job done.
Heroes work here. Employ excellence. Hire veterans.
Tuesdays on ESPNU, our panel of experts has unscripted debates and inside analysis of the top college football headlines.
I think somebody in the SEC is going to win a national championship again.
The Experts, Tuesdays at 2:30, all season long on ESPNU.
We are just over an hour from kickoff as head coach Les Miles and the LSU Tigers get set to host North Texas. That game coming up right here. Now for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week update, Braxton Miller, 207 yards passing, 161 on the ground, 3 touchdowns total. Text VOTE to 34763 from your mobile phone to vote and for a chance at a trip to the national championship.
And down in Baton Rouge, Mike the Tiger was able to ride out the hurricane by hanging out inside of his habitat. Here in northern Illinois leads Iowa 17-9 as we head to the fourth quarter. Be Mike the 6th at LSU. Look at this play. Dropping back and a bomb. Incomplete as Jordan Lynch stepped back after faking the run. Ashford covered by Castillo.
Nice play action by the quarterback Jordan Lynch, and all he did was go back into the line of scrimmage like he was going to have that quarterback run, and he tried to get Ashford down the middle. Watch him just hesitate, go towards the line of scrimmage, but Iowa did a nice job of staying in coverage. It was man-to-man all the way down the field, and Greg Castillo did a great job of running with the receiver.
3rd and 6. Ball batted at the line of scrimmage by Darian Cooper out of DeMatha High School in Maryland. So 4th and 6 now. You're watching the All-State Game of the Week on ESPNU. The Iowa Hawkeyes taking on the Northern Illinois Huskies here at Soldier Field in Chicago. I'm Tom Hart, joined by John Congemi, former Pitt quarterback, and this is, I got to say, not what we expected for Northern Illinois, not only to have so much success offensively, but also the red zone defense has been tremendous so far today. Ryan Neer punts it away. Hyde says get away. And it's covered by the Huskies' Deron Brown. Iowa started the game with a scoring drive, very first possession, but they were turned back in the red zone. He started 13 of 16 for 94 yards, and since he's been a little bit quiet. Why?
Pressure. I think pressure's been the key. I think this offensive line needs to get a hat on a hat, and I believe they need to run the football a little bit more on 1st and 2nd down, because they haven't had success throwing the football on early downs, but they haven't been able to protect their quarterback on 3rd and long.
Been sacked 5 times. His intentional grounding took Iowa out of field goal position to close the first half. And nowhere to go for Damon Bullock. Anthony Wells out of North Chicago High School.
Tom, it just looks like the Huskies up front are quicker than Iowa. They're getting off of blocks. The black jerseys are showing up. It looks like they're playing with 13 or 14 guys out there, and it's all due to the fact that they've been able to stay fresh up front. That front 4 has been coming in and out. A lot of rotation up front for Jay Neiman's defense.
2nd and 8 for Vandenberg in Iowa. They only bring 4, but Vandenberg will leave the pocket, and he will slide short of the first down. 3rd and 1 coming up. Is it the right play for the quarterback to slide in front of the sticks on a play like that?
Not when you have a couple more yards to go. You have to be aware, and you have to maybe take a peek as you're going, get a feel for it, because you never want to leave it to chance. Even though it's a yard, yards have been tough to come by for Iowa. So you break the contain of the pocket right now, you go ahead and take another yard, because you can. That defender's not going to go down. It might be 15 yards if he does.
3rd and 1, running behind a new offensive line with the exception of the center, James Ferentz. Bullock picks up the first down. In fact, he nearly gets 2 yards. James Ferentz started all 26 games over the past 2 seasons, but the Hawkeyes and new offensive line coach Brian Ferentz, his older brother, replacing 3 players who started all 13 games. Marcus Zusevich, Riley Reif, and Adam Geddes, who started at right guard.
Must be a pleasure for head coach Kirk Ferentz not only to coach 3 sons through the program, but to have one of his sons coaching the senior center.
And his youngest son is a tight end on this Iowa team. Flag on the play. When we talked with Kirk Ferentz about working with his son Brian, who spent the last couple of years coaching with the Patriots, He referenced a friend he has in private practice in Iowa City. And he said, I'm watching my buddy who's taking time to groom his sons to take over the family business. And I'm thinking to myself, that would be a cool opportunity. And so that's what he has with Brian as the offensive line coach, James at center, and Steven, a freshman tight end.
You know how proud.
There's no penalty on the play. We'll replay the down. First down.
How proud that a head coach must be that he has 3 sons go through the program, and now Brian's on the staff, and he doesn't have to worry about getting that quote-unquote free advice when he's not on his own staff and coaching for Bill Belichick in New England. Now it's a little bit different because he's accountable for that advice, and I think that it's a great family relationship they have and a great dynamic for Iowa.
They blew the play dead, so they will replay first down after the flag was picked up. The weather is also picking up here. Here's Martin Manley. He gets a block, and Manley past midfield, flipped at the 40 by Durant. And a first down for the Hawkeyes, who are trying to turn to their passing game here in the 4th quarter, trailing.
And that's another way you can get an extension of your running game. Just a quick pass along the line of scrimmage. Get those big linemen moving out in front. And that's a nice job by Martin Manley to cut it back where the black shirts were pressuring the quarterback, James Vandenberg. He's able to find some daylight in that secondary. And now Iowa's on the move again.
It's a swirling wind here at Soldier Field. First down, Hawkeyes, empty backfield, 5 wide. Vandenberg underneath to Martin Manley. And one thing they're able to do is run the tight ends down the middle of the field and bring the wide receivers underneath. How is that an advantage?
They're trying to clear out that traffic, that underneath traffic. That pressure has been so severe from their front 4. They've done a nice job of just throwing the 4 or 5 yards, but they have to make it count. Once they get into Northern Illinois territory, they have to come up with touchdowns, not field goals.
8th possession for Iowa, 7th time in Northern Illinois territory. Just 9 points to show for it. Bullock knifes his way through for an Iowa first down.
Good mix of run and pass right now by offensive coordinator Greg Davis. He was letting those big guys come up the field with all that speed and throwing the screens vertically. Now he's in horizontally as well, and now he's been able to let those linemen dig in and go attack the defensive front 7. Good scheme on this drive.
Hawkeyes trying to find the end zone, which they haven't done today. Despite having a balanced attack, they have stalled inside the red zone every trip.
And Tom, they haven't found the tight end in a long time.
Play action, blitz coming, and down he goes again. Sean Evans came out of nowhere at a cornerback blitz.
Things in 4 years. It's not realistic. The civil rights movement happened, you know, President Johnson passed those laws because there were people protesting and marching and organizing, which is why I'm organizing in the streets of Brooklyn around this country. You can't expect one person to do this stuff. And there's so many things that have happened in these 3.5, 4 years, and it's unfair. As I listen to the Republicans and even some of us who are disillusioned, there's this huge enthusiasm gap they're talking about with young people and the hip-hop generation. I'm like,